Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Speed Sports Park, Houston's high-speed playground. You are listening to audio-only commentary of the penultimate round, round number 4 of the 2026 Texas Karting League. My name's Henry Baudet. It is a huge pleasure to be able to bring you coverage of today's event. Tomorrow, we will also be bringing you visual coverage as well, but just for the time being this afternoon, for those people watching on the Texas Karting League YouTube channel and here in the paddock, let us cast your minds back to a bygone era where it was just the wireless radio. You have to close your eyes and picture the scene. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the scene is this. 120 drivers have gathered, making this the biggest ever Texas Karting League entry. They have gathered in 10 classes of kart on what is a brutally hot summer's weekend here, about 70 miles north of the Gulf of America. Temperatures well in excess of 90 degrees. The humidity making it even more debilitating. There are blue skies overhead, a few little puffy white clouds offering very, very little protection from the omnipotent presence of the sun. There have been people in the paddock who have been going to see the medics, getting some IVs, getting some electrolytes into them after testing all day yesterday. Final practice this morning. We're into timed qualifying. Now, if you are listening on the YouTube channel, please like and share the stream. It's a very important event for the Texas Karting League, which began life just 18 months ago with about 40 drivers. In the space of 4 rounds last year, this is the eighth, count them, 8 meetings that Texas Karting League series founder John Mueller and his team of hardworking, and I mean hardworking officials have put together 8 meetings, and we are at well over 120 drivers, which is an incredible feat. So a big congratulations to the organizers. More importantly, a thank you to the customers, the drivers, the teams, of which there are many. I'm standing in the climbing and scoring tower just outside the final corner here at Speed Sports Park. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the layout. Just to my right, down below me, is the covered pre-grid area. Bob Williams managing the pre-grid area, taking respite under the corrugated steel or the corrugated tin roof of the pit lane area. Beyond the pit lane, further to the right, the paddock. The paddock is nicely full, but it's not full of the huge, large, articulated tractor-trailer units that you might be familiar with at events like SCUSA, at events like the USPKS, or even Stars of Karting. No, this is grassroots racing. There are pop-up, easy-up awnings everywhere. Yes, there are some big teams here, but even those big teams have decided to go against the usual big set it up awnings. They are easy up tents stacked side by side, offering as much cool air as possible into the sides to give the drivers, their families, a tiny bit of respite. On track at the moment, coming towards the end of 2:06 junior qualifying, 17 seconds to go. At the end of all the qualifying sessions, we will have the first heat races for all classes. We will also have the final for our kid karts. The kid karts are just racing here today. They have done their qualifying session and their pre-final. We will bring you their final. For every other class, it will be heat number 1. Tomorrow we will have a warm-up heat. We will have a pre-final and a final for each category. Championships on the line will bring you up to speed with the point situation in every class as the weekend progresses. Maybe not today, but tomorrow. This is the penultimate round, of course. This is called the Intergalactic Derby 2. Checkered flag has waved in Junior 206 qualifying, and it is Nico Orbezo who is fastest of all. Nico Orbezo, a driver who earlier this year at Motorsports Country Club Cincinnati made his own little piece of history by becoming the first Texas Karting League alumni to qualify for the biggest party in world karting, the Rotax Grand Finals. Nico Orbezo will go to Portimao in Portugal in the middle of November to represent Team USA in the 2026 Rotax Grand Finals. And he will start this afternoon's Briggs 206 Junior Heat from pole position. Alongside him on the front row provisionally, subject of course to post-race or post-qualifying tech, will be number 837 Clayton Stiles, the number 845 of Sawyer Chambers, and the number 816 of Levi Miador, or Miador, will share row number 2, the 818 of Simon Neugen, then the number 833 of Mia Johnson, the 875 of Malik Mohammed will round out, will follow those drivers, 11 206 junior competitors in total. But as the drivers in the Briggs Junior class head back to the scale lines, where under the watchful eye of official head of tech Mike Roberts, the drivers will be handed or will be permitted to drink some water before they go through weigh scales, but not by the families and the parents. We have asked the parents to please do not pass your drivers, as hot and as tired as they may be. Do not pass the drivers anything in scale line. We, the organisers, will ensure that the drivers get hydrated the moment they are off track. Well, let's take you for a lap around Houston's high-speed playground. The karts flash underneath me and onto the start-finish straight. They then turn left into the first of 3 back-to-back sweepers. Left through turn 1, right through turn number 2, then left again through turn number 3, before hard on the brakes for the double apex 90-degree right-handers, turns 4 and turns 5. That will spit you out down the long back straight. Trees overhanging the circuit to the driver's left and offering them a tiny little piece of respite, bit of shelter from the glaring sun. At the end of the back straight, hard on the brakes for turn number 6. Right hand, just over 180 degrees in angle. That sends the drivers into the part of the circuit known as Switchback City. Switchback City through turn number 7. That is 180 degrees left into turns 8 and 9. 2 sharp right-handers. Out of turn number 9 onto what can be called one of the infield straights. As they head down there, they will firstly flick right and then take a sharp left, a sharp but very fast left into the boot. The boot at turn number 11, another 180 degree left-hand corner. That spits you out through a very fast kink right at turn 12. Up the second infield straight, running perpendicular but in the opposite direction to the start straight into turn number 13. 90-degree left-hander straight into another pair of 90-degree right-handers at turns 14 and 15. Out onto the start-finish straight again. That is one lap of Speed Sports Racing Park in Houston. On circuit at the moment, championship leader, number 393, Joey Friend, has the advantage at the moment with a time of 54.296 seconds. Tommy Trailer is second. So Tommy Trailer, P2 at the moment behind Joey Friend. Then it is Ethan Wilson in kart number 381. Ethan Wilson had a slight issue this morning and his race suit broke. But luckily, Joey Friend has a spare race suit to hand and Ethan Wilson can carry on racing without having to call on his mum to sew his zipper up. It doesn't matter how old you are, sometimes you just need help from mum. Cameron Reed is currently fourth fastest with a time of 55.015 seconds. As we're into the final 90 seconds of this qualifying session. And we will also hope to get the paddock audio working as well. But for those of you who are here in the paddock listening, we will get an announcement out so you can follow the audio on the YouTube channel. The time here in Houston, it is 2:45 p.m. local time. You can listen around the world to qualifying here at the Texas Karting League. Temperatures, as I check from my, I have to say, it's not air conditioned, but there are several fans whirring away in the background. So if there is a bit of background noise, that is, well, quite frankly, they're two fans keeping the atmosphere here in the commentary box sane and conscious, because I have to say, looking at the temperatures in New Caney, Texas, it is 98 degrees Fahrenheit. The humidity means that it feels, are you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? It actually feels like 104 degrees. Now, in the UK, where obviously I am from, we are in the middle of a heat wave ourselves, but America simply does hot weather better than the UK, if better is the word, as the checkered flag comes out to signal the end of timed qualifying here in Senior Rotax. And it is Joey Friend with a time of 54.296 seconds, nearly half a second quicker than the 399 car to Tommy Trailer. Just a tenth back from Trailer is Ethan Wilson, with Cameron Reed in fourth. Josh Norman, the recently married Josh Norman. Congratulations to Josh. Josh is, well, he's now married. That's why I said recently married. Josh Norman is not only married, but he is fifth fastest. I'm not quite sure which one he feels is more important. A top five start is a top five start. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, then we have Dylan Ashtari, a driver whose name escapes me at the moment, Mr. James. And we'll get Mr. James's first name. It is A. James. No, not A. James. His surname is James. His first name might be, well, Archibald. Until I get a name, Archibald James. That'll get someone up in the commentary box to tell me I'm getting his name wrong. I could have called him Adolf, but I thought, no. Archibald, Mr. James is in seventh. Then it is Davis Buck, and rounding out the field is Jaden Sadek. 9 senior Rotax competitors, one of whom, sadly, has not made it back to the pit lane. And I'm going to look down to hazard a guess, and that is the aforementioned Mr. Sadek. And it is Aidan James. Thank you very much, Aidan James. I think Archibald's has a far greater ring to it. Aidan James in cart 322. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what is up on tap next? Well, the recovery vehicle goes out to pick the cart up and put the uncooperative number 327 Jaden Saddick cart onto the back of the recovery golf cart. And we are going to be underway very shortly with qualifying for Minimax. Minimax, another very, very competitive class indeed. Several drivers that you are about to hear about travelled up to the Newcastle Motorsports Park in Indiana about 2 weeks ago to contest the Rotax US National Finals, bringing back with them a huge amount of new experience that hopefully will carry them a long way towards potentially becoming members of Team USA in the near future. 13 Minimax competitors in total. Championship leader after 3 of 5 races so far in 2026 is number 101, Mace Lasek. Who else have we got in the class? We have got Jude Hendrickson, Mikey Todd, Drew Blem, Liam Haswell, Alexander Mosley, Wyatt White, Alan Zanuck, Tyler Blackwood, Jaden Joel Vett, Marcello Tosta, Valentin Avellino, and Cohen Scott. On circuit, the green flag is waved, and out onto the track come our Minimax competitors, and down the bottom of the circuit, somebody going for a spin, and a very, very diligent marshal running towards an issue just out of my viewpoint. So I can see everything from my vantage point apart from the entrance to turn number 4, which sits behind the main rental kart race building here at Speed Sports Park. So as the karts disappear out of the left-hander at turn number 3, I can see them setting themselves up for the braking zone for the right-hand turn at turn number 4, but then they disappear for about 3 seconds out of my view before they come back into view as the karts the drivers prepare themselves for the run out of turn 5 and down the long back straight. Now I'm looking to see who has potentially not come around. Well, we've got one kart off at the side of the circuit. That is either the 1, 2, 3 of Alexander Mosley or the 1, 2, 2 of Liam Haswell. We do have an extra driver who has joined the field. So we've got now Andres Pena is there in kart number 132, late entry. 132 Andres Pena. So that is our 14th competitor. And I will have a little look to see who our 15th competitor is. Tyler Blackwood is fastest of all, ahead of the number 112 of Mikey Todd. Looking down and to see who we have got that is new. Well, there is a driver that now this is why we've asked the competitors get their entries in promptly and to get their transponder numbers in promptly. Because I have got a driver who we've been asking. I don't have a name or a driver number. And which is, of course, well, if your name's not getting mentioned, quite frankly, you've been given plenty of warning. You've been given fair warning. And it looks as though in Minimax, well, we'll carry on with the drivers that we have got at the moment on screen. I've got 13 names on the practice results. There's definitely, just looking down, we've got 15 names. Well, Mr. Mosley or Mr. Haswell, they have both not come around. Tyler Blackwood is fastest at the moment. Cohen Scott, kart number 192, is second quickest. A 57.142 for Blackwood, a 57.188 for Scott. And it's Todd at a 57.199. Pena at 57.259. Lasek at 57.293. Wyatt White is seventh. Make that fifth as he goes in front of Mace Lasek, the championship leader, only sixth at the moment. The number 188 kart, Valentin Avellino, driving around there. He is slowest at the moment, a 59.345. And there are definitely, I can see 2 karts at the side of the circuit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So there are 15 drivers in Minimax. The one driver, and he pops up as if by magic, is the number 119 kart. So the number 119, first name being Ali, the timekeeper. Kensley Howie. Thank you, Ali. Working the magic here up in timing and scoring. So 119 Kensley Howie. 15 Minimax drivers. Kensley is currently 12th of the 13 drivers that have set a time. Sadly, Liam Haswell and Alexander Mosley will not set a time, but it is going to be, at the moment, with 30 seconds to go, Tyler Blackwood, 56.998 seconds. Kart number 128, just 300ths of a second quicker than Cohen Scott. Cohen Scott, in turn, is less than a tenth faster than Andres Pena. Mace Lasik up to 4th position. Then it's Todd, White, Toster, Hendrickson, Jolivet, Blem, Zanuck, Howie, Avellino. As the checkered flag comes out, first driver to cross the line will be the number 115 kart, Drew Blem. And Drew Blem is going to wind up 10th fastest overall. Kensley Howie, right at the last lap, sets a personal best. One driver who will not set a personal best lap on the last lap will be the number 188 of Mr. Avellino, because he goes for a brief off-track excursion, just running out of tarmac, heading into number turn 13 there. Bouncing over the grass, crossing the line. But it's going to be Tyler Blackwood on pole position in kart number 128. Now, those very, very few scattered white, fluffy-looking clouds that I mentioned earlier, well, they have moved away to the right of the circuit, and nothing but clear blue skies now overhead. The grass baking, the green turning wisps of almost yellow. Now, the tarmac roasting hot. The amount of rubber that has been laid down, you can quite clearly see the racing line. So much rubber has been laid down. The marbles offline, the bits of tyre, and there are several different compounds of tyre being used here. Marbles have been ripped off those tyres and scatter offline at every single corner. It means that if you do run offline, the hot tyres will pick up that rubber and make the kart feel very, very unbalanced indeed. Now, the left-hand part well, to my left. So I'm sitting in the timing and scoring building overlooking the final corner. The right is the paddock and pit lane area. To the left, the rental kart circuit, which is, I have to say, extremely busy at the moment on this sultry, humid, sun-blessed afternoon. Beyond the rental kart circuit, the food zone rather, a site that'll be very, very familiar to anybody who has visited Speed Sports Park over the years. Well, the food zone is doing a roaring trade because in the large uncovered car park just in front of the food zone, there is a classic car and truck show going on. And I can just tell you that the amount of chrome shimmering off the front bumpers of the various trucks, lowriders, and customized vehicles that, from just the naked eye, takes us through a bit of American automotive history. From the 50s, I can see an old Chevelle and even a Chevy 57, to plenty of trucks, even a couple of sidesteps trucks, very sought after sidesteppers and low riders right up into the modern era, but there must be at least 50 or 60 of them. Their hoods open, chrome bumpers glistening in the blue sky and sunshine. More and more spectators begin to filter in to Speed Sports Park. Racing tomorrow, if you are listening in the local area. Racing tomorrow, well, warm-up begins at 8:30 a.m. The pre-finals begin at 9:50 a.m. and the finals commence at about 1 p.m. Racing finishing at 3:30 local time in the afternoon. If you are local, please come down and watch. There are a couple of very hardy umbrella-clad spectators sitting in the small, uncovered, metal-seated grandstand bleachers just outside turn number 6. And I say this, they are sitting under their umbrellas, even though rain is the furthest thing from the forecast here in Houston, rather in New Caney, Texas, this weekend. A big thank you to all the officials, the marshalling team, to Alan Rudolph and his staff for putting the staff on to run this event, to John Mueller and Jody Mueller. They have grown this championship from nothing to 120 drivers in the space of 18 months. I said Mike Roberts running tech, Heather Underwood on scales and race organization. Ali is the chief timekeeper, assisted by Cade, and we have, a big well done and a big thank you to Brandon Williams, who was initially going to be the assistant race director, but due to main race director Gideon Gadsden having a bit of a family situation at the moment, we do hope that Gideon is well. I think his grandfather is feeling a little bit under the weather at the moment. Well, weather is one thing that we have plenty of here in Houston. Hot weather being the case in point. So Brandon Williams is acting as the chief race director. His assistant, whose name, quite frankly, in the heat escapes me. Someone will shout it at me now. Leo, our assistant race director, out on circuit, running the start-finish box as well. Behind the scenes, Mason is the videographer, and it is Adam. I knew it was something with A, and it wasn't Archibald or Adolf. Adam is helping me. Adam is the reason that you are hearing this. He has been working magnificently to get the audio stream up. There will be cameras potentially tomorrow, but if not, then we can just sit back. Old school MRN, PRN radio styly. Junior Rotax time qualifying on the circuit now. And this, again, where we will see Nico Orbezo, who has already taken pole position in the Junior L206 category. 14 Junior Rotax competitors. And I've got to say, I was at Crescent in Texas about this time last year with 50 drivers for the final round or the penultimate round of the inaugural season, and I cannot believe how this championship has grown. Alex Chandler for Iron Rock Motorsport. Alex, who qualified fourth for the finals at the US Nationals up at Newcastle, just showing you how talented the Texan karting pool currently is. Chandler and Kimo Ahmad, another extremely talented driver. Shame we haven't seen more of Kimo Ahmad racing at the highest level, because both Chandler and Ahmad ahead of Orbezo at the moment. And the Texas Karting League in Junior Rotax has got an extremely strength and depth talented field, which the rest of the country should take note of. The Lone Star State could be one of the key regions in the future of the Rotax divisions in the United States to send members of Team USA and send drivers to represent Team USA in the Rotax Grand Finals. Chandler, Clayton Stiles, Nico Orbezo, Kimo Ahmad, Emmett Eddles, and Adrian Vargas, the top six. Tanner Bosch is now seventh. A driver who's eighth position, a driver whose name really just flows off the tongue, and that is TX 167-20705. That's my personal favorite driver name. I love the TX7. Now, Adam is the Carter database. That is incredible. Personally, this is a new toy. Oh my goodness me. Is it Christmas? Yes, it is, because somebody has given Henry a new toy to play with in the commentary box. So, for example, I'm going to type into Carter database. I am going to type Alex Chandler in to the Carter database. And even the keyboard has got a nice sound. Hang on a sec. This is audio. This keyboard has got a really nice click to it. Isn't that the coolest thing? Old school clicky keyboards to keep Henry entertained. Alex Chandler. So let's have a look at Mr. Chandler's results. We'll go down for Iron Rock Motorsport, Carter database. Oh, you've got to sign up to view. I'm only on the freebie. We'll come back to that in a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Chandler, with a minute and a half to go, is still fastest in Junior Rotax. Just 0.08 of a second quicker than Nico Orbezo. Orbezo, it's an Iron Rock Motorsport 1, 2, 3. Chandler, Orbezo, and Stiles. Emmett Eddles, the Skeptic-sponsored driver, is in P4. Then it's Kimo Ahmad. Then Cruz Rodriguez. Followed by Adrian Vargas, Tanner Bosch. Oh boy, here we go. Apologies already to Mr. Vargas, not Adrian Vargas, but to Yoma Rangelis. Yoma Rangelis Vargas is ninth. Nicholas Castro, Ivan Garcia, Sofia Sadigova, and Nolan Mueller. Rounding out the 13 drivers on track at the moment. Alex Chandler. I can't believe that Carter database is a thing. This is new to me. And is it exclusively for North American karting? I ask. Quite possibly. I think that could be the case. Well, Merca has got one up and over on the rest of the karting world. Whoever is behind Carter DB, Carter Database, Carter Database Racing, Alex Chandler, 118 races on the Carter Database. Oh, some of these handed me a mouse as well. So we are ranked 1,832nd. That's outrageous. I'm going to look down. Oh, boys and girls listening back home. The checkered flag is waved. Chandler has just taken provisional pole position. And looking at Chandler, so Alex Chandler's, his main rivals, the drivers that he competes against most often, Nicholas Orbezo, Tanner Barsh, Clayton Stiles, Colton Schniegenberg, Royce Vega, and Aston Wyatt. For example, oh my goodness me. So, okay. So the big number is okay. So it's he's got a ranking of 1,832 as Alex Chandler. That's not his overall ranking in the world. That's his rating, as it were. You start off with a base rating on Carter DB of 1,500. Now, Alex Chandler has raced against Nicholas Orbezo 147 times. This is Statman 101. And the score is between Chandler and Orbezo, for example. Hang on a second. Oh, I've now lost that bit. I believe it is 43 times Nicholas Orbezo, 43 times Alex Chandler has finished in front. 82 times Nicholas Orbezo has finished in front. That is absolutely fascinating. I will confess, I was shown a developmental version of Carter DB by another person at another circuit at another event earlier this year. And well, I almost wet myself with excitement, ladies and gentlemen. That is how impressive this new piece of technology is for karting statisticians, commentators, and anoraks like myself. Now we move on. So Chandler, pole position in junior Rotax, provisionally, of course. We now move on to Micromax qualifying. 5 drivers in total. I love the clicky keyboard as much as I love everything else about the Carter database. So, at the moment, Hayden Sampson, driver number 91, fastest for Slipstream Racing. Sebastian Kim for the Massimo Sanchez Lara team. JJ DeShong, Baron Chen, and Enzo Vizcayano. They are your 5 Micromax qualifiers. I've got another 2. Well, Andres Pena has moved up, and I'm not sure, I haven't seen Vettel Baker here this weekend. I'm not sure if Vettel is here or if he's been a late withdrawal. Hayden Sampson, however, is fastest as things stand. My cup of karting joy has absolutely overflowed with statistical glee after that. The Star Spangled Banner fluttering, and I say fluttering because a slight breeze has now wafted its way across the circuit. So you're familiar with Speed Sports Park. You will know that on the corner of the race control building, there is the Star Spangled Banner, and it is now fluttering in a breeze. Hopefully, That breeze will pick up as the afternoon progresses, although I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Temperatures are not set to fall anytime soon. In fact, tomorrow is set to be even hotter than today. If there's a brief break in the commentary and you hear a bit of glugging, it is only the commentator uh, drinking their Gatorade like a good boy to keep hydrated. There is a medic on site who has been giving IVs to people because we have had people that have come a little bit unstuck, felt a little bit funny. So we are grateful to the medical team here with the electrolyte and vitamin fueled intravenous boosters that have kept more than a couple of people here quite literally standing up this weekend. 2 minutes to go. Sebastian Kim, now fastest of our 5 micro competitors, 58.410, just 200ths faster than Hayden Sampson, who in turn is just 300ths faster than JJ DeShong. In fact, less than a tenth of a second separates the top 3, Kim, Sampson and DeShong. The Mint Motorsports kart of Baron Chen, an extremely well put together, well liveried kart, Mint Motorsport. It looks absolutely mint, I think, is the angle that we were going for, and we succeeded. The number 62 machine is now just 0.4 of a second slower than Sebastian Kim. Enzo Vizcaino, or Vizcaino, is a 59.152. 3/4 of a second separates all 5 drivers. As we cross the line to start another lap. Down the back straight we go. Ali looks over. Every time I go quiet, Ali looks over as though to think, is he fainted? He passed out. No, Henry is just, allowing the atmosphere to sink in between sentences, even though this is audio only, but you've got to just picture the scene, ladies and gentlemen. 30 seconds to go. Ali's also eating a slush. I'm very jealous of. A mound of ice with food colouring. And on a day like today, a mound of ice with some food colouring looks about as attractive as it's possible to look like. Kim, with 10 seconds to go, the number 91 cut, Hayden Sampson, starts another lap. So does JJ DeShong and Baron Chen. Here comes Sebastian Kim to the line. Checkered flag. He doesn't improve his best time. His best lap of 58.410. Enzo Vizcaino has also taken the checkered flag at 58.891 seconds. I'm sorry, I don't have live chat up here in the commentary box, but if you are watching, please give the stream a thumbs up and share it to your friends and family. As we wait, well, Hayden Sampson is going to be the next kart to cross the line on the mean green TB kart machine, the Slipstream Racing. How many eames can we get into one sentence? Well, we can't get... No, I can't get anything eam to rhyme with P2, which is where Sampson is. P2 after qualifying. JJ DeShong, 3rd fastest. Baron Chen in 4th position. And that concludes Minimax timed qualifying here at Speed Sports Park. We have, sorry, Micromax, I do apologize. We have, well, the Master and Club Max grid going out next of all. Now, the Rotax Max Masters, there will be 4 of them. And then we should have how many Club Max drivers? I believe there are 5 Club Max drivers in total. Ali, are we? Well, I've got 5 names. There we go. Have 9 in total. Now, Club Max, that would be senior drivers, junior engine. I believe. I believe it's senior drivers, junior engines. The Max Masters qualifying, they're the senior drivers, senior engines, drivers aged over 32. Adam Barr and his brother Davis Barr, Daniel Howie, Griffin Pugh, and Josh Norman have gone out already. I am sure that there are a few more drivers. Well, let's have a look. The Max Masters, I think we may have had a couple. So Stephen Hester, I believe, is in the shifter kart class category. Former U.S. Army First Sergeant Lightning Linwood Mosley is due to be out there in kart number 996, but he has been running his son, Alexander Mosley, who didn't complete a lap in his qualifying session earlier in Minimax. So we shall see the karts that we have on circuit. We certainly have a mixture of numbers. We've got 2 Masters, Adam and Davis Barr, and 3 Club Rotax drivers. So our Rotax Club competitors, Griffin Pugh, Josh Norman doing double duty, the recently married Josh Norman, getting his fun in while he can. He is out there as well. I'm looking at Carter database once again, looking at of course, the amount of events here that have been held at Speed Sports Park. Hosted 30 events tracked on Carter driver database. Well, I'm looking back at June last year, the second TKL Speed Sports race in June. There were, 16 classes that ran on that event. And let's have a little look at there now. This, of course, excuse me, the season opened at Kart Moto. It then went to GCKI Katy. That would be the next circuit. Then Kart Moto King of the Hill. That would be Kart Moto in Crescent, Texas. We haven't been here. Looking at last year's result, Josh Norman was the winner. Josh Norman beat Tommy Trailer for the senior title here last year. Looking at Masters, Davis Barr won last year's Max Masters ahead of Michael Hotala. Hotala is not here. Davis Barr is, but Davis Barr at the moment is having to play second fiddle to his brother Adam. Adam Barr in kart number 985. Davis Barr in the 925, which makes them really, really easy to tell apart. Not. Davis Barr is the driver with the watermelon crash helmet. Adam Barr, the fastest of the 2 Barr brothers, has got he's got a complete race suit and kart setup. So they are very easy to spot. They're not both on comp kart chassis. Of the Club Max karts, Josh Norman for Kart Zone is fastest. Daniel Howie for the High Five Performance team. Morgan LeBaron, Doug Foxworth's team. They are in fourth. He is in fourth position. Griffin Pugh from Macrone Motorsports is fifth fastest at the minute. I have to say that the two Barr brothers are only 6/10 quicker than Josh Norman at the moment. So a nice thing. And Davis Barr, the watermelon man himself, with all due respect to Ross Chastain, but the watermelon man himself, Davis Barr, fastest, 55.500 seconds. 1 minute to go. Adam Barr, just 7/1000ths of a second. 55.500 for Davis Barr, 55.507 for Adam Barr. Josh Norman leads the Club Max category. Daniel Howie in the number 718 cart has pitted early. He decided, I'm not going to go any quicker. So he has decided to pit early and will start at best fourth overall, second in the Club Max field. The rest of the runners now on to their final flying lap. Temperatures now officially tick over 100 degrees out on circuit. Even the cool air from the fan is no longer totally cool. Checkered flag is out, and Adam Barr find 7/1000ths of a second, make that 8/1000ths of a second, to overhaul his brother Davis. Josh Norman is coming to the line now. Past him on track goes the number 985 car, Adam Barr. Was he slowed by having to pass Josh Norman on the final flying lap? Yes, he was. Well, he does a 55.888 second lap, and that confirms Davis Barr on pole position with a 55.500, and the newlywed Josh Norman with a time of 56.159 on pole position in Club Max. As we head towards the conclusion of time qualifying here at Speed Sports Racing Park. We have one qualifying session to go. It is going to be for the shifter carts. Excuse me. The shifter carts. SR125 FZ shifter. We have got, well, we don't have Daniel Howie because he's going to, I believe we have 3 drivers in this category, but it's a brand new category for karting in the US this year. The Billy Musgrave designed FC125 shifter program, and a massive congratulations to the All-American badass, Billy Musgrave, who has recently become a father for the first time. Twins. I believe they're both boys, and I believe they were both born complete with Billy Musgrave style afro. All is well with the world. So for the final time today in qualifying, Bob Williams on the dummy grid sends 3 FZ125 shifter carts on their way. Brandon Green, well, they're all green because they're all TB carts. Brandon Green is in cart number 61. Taylor Roddy is in cart number 88. Stephen Hester is in cart number 41. So we watch and wait. These will be the fastest karts that we have here. Shame we don't have more, but it is a brand new concept, and it's being rolled out across the United States in 2026. I've been fortunate enough to watch a couple of these of the races, both in junior and senior spec. And I've got to say, oh, Cade is passing me a bottle of water, which well, Cade, I can't kiss another man live on air, but you almost won that competition. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, while I take a guzzle of water, not of Cade. Well, we shall pick up the positions very shortly. We're going to let the drivers do a couple of hot laps. No pun intended. Every single lap here this weekend is hot. Brandon Green, 52.737 seconds. Second position, Taylor Roddy, 53.008. Stephen Hester at 57.389 is up next. So we'll follow the number. I was supposed to take his number 9 off, but he's the number 41 kart of Stephen Hester, who goes across the line. He flicks left, right, left again. Hard of the brakes, a double right, then down the back straight. Long run down the back straight. Trees giving him a little bit of shelter to his left-hand side. Now hard of the brakes, 180 degrees right again into Switchback City. Left, and then a double right. Runs a little bit wide, does Hester, through that double right now. Down towards the boot. He flicks left, hard on the brakes. Into the boot, out of the boot now. Flicking right, up the infield straight. He's going to go left very quickly. Hard on the brakes again. 2 more right-handers. There they go. 1, 2. Short shoot right in front of the pit lane. Then flat right onto the start-finish straight to complete 1 lap, and that lap was in 56.79 seconds. So he's about 4 seconds off the ultimate pace. Now we'll look to try and follow Brandon Green around a lap here at Speed Sports Park. Brandon is currently negotiating the final 2 corners. So here we go, across the start-finish line. Now, Green sets the kart up to turn left, a little bit of curb. Rise the curb through the middle of the turn number 2 at the right-hander, then the left-hander again, more curb, hard on the brakes, out of my viewpoint, through 4, then flash right through 5, down the back straight. All the power of that 6-speed shifter kart, hard on the brakes, with a slightly banked, slightly cambered. Turn number 6 now into Switchback City. He's flicked left. He's flicked right and right again out of turn number 9. Down towards the boot. Through the little chicane at turn number 10. Hard on the brakes. 180 degrees left. Out of 11. Through the flat out turn 12 kink. Up the infield straight. Into turn number 13. Left. Hard on the brakes. For turn number 14. Corner opens out in front of the dummy grid. Flat right-hander through turn number 15. That is 1 lap of Speed Sports Park in a provisional pole sitting time. 52.722 seconds for Brandon Green. He extends his advantage over Taylor Roddy to 0.3 of a second. Roddy has pitted. Stephen Hester also pitting. The checkered flag. Hester stays on track. and he doesn't improve that time. And into the pits comes Brandon Green. The checkered flag will be waved to Stephen Hester, but it's going to be Brandon Green who will start FZ125 Senior Heat 1 from pole position a little bit later on. That concludes timed qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. The first race is set to go off at 3:38 local time. Cadet LO206, 6 minutes plus 2 laps. So we will take a very short break here. Well, I go and try and find some sugar to refuel myself with. And we'll be back here at Speed Sports Park, Houston's high-speed playground, for round number 4 of the 2026 Texas Karting League. It is the Intergalactic Derby 2. I know I want to go. Right, so going back. All right then. I won't use that right now. That's okay. Okay, here we go. We good? Hello. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We are live. Race number 1 is on its rolling lap. It's going to be a 7-minute plus 2-lap race. Driver number 223 leads the way, Hayden Sampson. The Slipstream Racing. Drew Blem is second, Sebastian Sampson third, Mace Lasek fourth, Aitken Badwan is fifth. Actually, that's not correct. It is Aitken, but his surname is Boudoir. Aitken Boudoir is next. Camden Barnett, Jethro Sigmundic, Nayeli Vargas, Jacob Doherty, Baron Chen, Hutton Buck, Lorenzo Avellino, and Gunnar Roberts. 13 drivers in the 4-stroke. And, well, we're going to, at some point, Adam is joining us here. Adam's surname is? Adam Nunes is joining me here in the commentary box. So this is more like it. Always better. Like everything. It's better with 2 than on your own. Here we go. Into the tram lines. Sun is blazing. Red lights are out. L206 Cadet underway. Down through turn number 1. Into turn number 2. Sampson has the lead. Couple of drivers towards the back. A little bit held up by the start, but we're all now heading down the back straight. Hayden Sampson, kart number 223, driving for the Slipstream Racing team. Drew Blem in second, and I think that might be Mace Lasek. Well, Lasek there actually in 4th position, I believe, as they come back into the turn 8 and 9 section. Now down towards the boot. Up the straight. Now, perpendicular to the, running in opposite direction to the start-finish straight. And it is the number, it's Drew Blem who has the race lead. Driver number 215. Out of the final corner and completing lap number 1. Green flag still waving. Blem has the advantage. Sebastian Sampson second. Hayden Sampson third. And it's Aitken Badwa, Camden Barnett, Mace Lasek, and the rest, all 13 drivers still ready. Adam Nunes watching alongside. Adam, firstly, you're not new. You know this place pretty well, yes? What is the track going to be doing under these types of weather conditions? What's the grip level going to be like? And what is the main problem the drivers are going to be facing?
Well, the main thing.
Adam is decided that he's not plugged in. Well, Adam's microphone has decided to unplug itself. Well, I'll tell you, the drivers are going to be handling the hottest weather conditions that they have seen all season. We follow the race leaders. Drew Blem now goes into turn number 14. 3-kart breakaway. Sebastian Sampson and his Hayden Sampson right behind him. Side by side for 4th place. Going into turn number 1. Over the curb. That's Aitken Badwa and Mace Lasek. Camden Barnett. A 3-kart battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. And coming out in front of that, well, Aitken Badwa looks like he's lost out. It's side by side between Lasek and Barnett down the back straight. Up at the front, Drew Blem continues to lead. But not by much. The dark grey bodywork on the kart is almost looks like charcoal against the blue skies. The grass, no longer a shade of bright green. It's withering into a sort of a heat-beaten yellowish hue around the circuit. We're going to come to the end of lap number 3. And nothing to choose between the top 3. Blem and the 2 Sampsons. The Hi-Fi performance kart of Sebastian Sampson. The Slipstream kart of Hayden Sampson. I can't believe they're not related, but you never know. Are we working yet, Adam?
I believe so. And facts for me.
We're not working. Oh, there we go. That's quite all right. I'm working. Adam will continue. I say Adam is the reason you're listening to the audio. He's been working a lot behind the scenes here to get the various bits of technology cooperating with each other. And now, Drew Blem is pulling away, battle of a second, going into the boot between the 2 Sampsons. The white NASA panel, white nose cone, the Hi-Fi performance team. And then the all green and white TB carts, the factory kart graphics kits for the 223 kart of Hayden Sampson. They chase each other down the start-finish straight. Blem now extends his advantage to 7/10 of a second. They flick left, right, and left again. Down towards the bottom end of the circuit, that double right-hander. Now, up the long back straight, you can see the slipstream effect working because the 2 Sampsons, nose cones and rear bumpers locked together, 8 wheels working in unison, close the gap on Drew Blem. They close it to about 3 kart lengths as they head now down towards the boot. Hard on the brakes, and as they turn left to the inside goes number 223, Hayden Sampson, to take P2. Now, Hayden Sampson sets off after race leader Drew Blem. Behind us, I believe we have had our first retirement of the race. Sadly, Lorenzo Avellino in kart 289 has retired. 12 karts left running. Gunnar Roberts in 12th. Jacob Doherty is 11th. Hutton Buck is 10th. Baron Chen 9th. Jethro Sigmundik is 8th. Nayeli Vargas 7th. Camden Barnett 6th. Aiken Boudoir is 5th. Mace Lasek 4th. Then the Sampsons and Drew Blem continuing to head the field, but not by much, as Hayden Sampson on the TB kart closes in wheel to wheel. They exit the boot on lap number 6 up towards the watching throng who stand undercover on the dummy grid. They now pass directly in front of the dummy grid through the final corner and away down towards the far end of the circuit where the Miss Tacos Mexican restaurant, the Barbecue Shack House, and the highway and US Highway 59 runs. The trucks, tractors, and trailer units oblivious to the 120 competitors here at the Texas Karting League who, over the last 2 days, have poured blood, tears, and lots of sweat into getting to this point. That's not just the drivers, that's the mechanics' parents as well. There's a couple of mechanics walking round bandaged up after very hot metal met very sweaty skin. And it was always going to be metal 1, mechanics knuckles 0. Sampson now takes the lead from Drew Blem. What can Drew Blem do to capitalize? 2 laps to go. The 2 sticks in the air from our flagman. Out of my sight towards turn 4. They return down the back straight. Drew Blem in the slipstream of Hayden Sampson. Sebastian Sampson has fallen quite a ways back. Yellow flags waving at turn number 6. Somebody has pulled off the side of the track. Not one of our leaders. They pass by into Switchback City. Now through turns 8 and 9 towards the boot. Next time they cross the start line, Hayden Sampson will get 1 lap to go. Through the final corner. White flag in the air. What can 215, that charcoal grey privateer run cutter Drew Blem do? He starts moving around, moving offline, forcing Sampson to defend. Drew Blem's going to get a great run down the back straight. Sampson hugs the inside line. Blem on the outside line. He now tucks into the slipstream, pulls out wide again, under braking for turn number 6. No yellow flags now. Into Switchback City. Drew Blem running out of time. Out of turn number 9. And down towards the boot. Through turn 10. Hard on the brakes for the actual toe section of the boot. That 180-degree left-hander. Now up the short chute towards the last 3 corners. Through turn number 13. There goes Blem to the inside at turn number 14. And Sampson leaves the door wide open. It's going to be a drag race, though, to the line. And Drew Blem doesn't take it. Yes, he does. He takes it by 0.02 of a second over Hayden Sampson. Sebastian Sampson finishes in 3rd position. Mace Lasek takes 4th. Aitken Boudoir takes 5th. Then it's Camden Barnett, Nayeli Vargas, Baron Chen, Jethro Sigmundic, Jacob Doherty, Holton Brook, Gunnar Roberts. And sadly, well, Gunnar Roberts was also a retiree, as was Lorenzo Avellino. 1 race in the books, and already I'm looking down at the next race. The next race, ladies and gentlemen, is our first final. This is for the kid karts. They only have 1-day events here. They were practicing yesterday. They did their qualifying and their heat. But for our very, very youngest competitors, and I have to say that in these conditions, our kid karts drivers age 6, 7 years old, it is 1 or 2 days in the unforgiving Texas summer sun is more than enough. They can watch the rest of the Texas Karting League contenders do their pre-finals and finals tomorrow. They can listen on the YouTube channel, which I hope you are watching and listening to now. Or if they're in the area, they can come down, take some shelter, and at least watch from the sidelines. Now, for those of you familiar with my work in the UK, you will know that I have a paddock pooch is a great thing. And I have just seen a little paddock puppy. There is a paddock puppy that is a miniature dappled dachshund, who is very, very miniature. I've got to say that dappled dachshund, which is being ushered into its mother's arms. Well, not its mother's arms, human mother's arms. Probably because his little paws are very, very hot on the old tarmac here at Houston's high-speed playground. Still, the rental carts rumble on relentlessly to my left on the secondary track here at Speed Sports. The car park, the overflow car park for the rental kart circuit filling up nicely. The classic car and truck show over by the food zone on that long uncovered car park there. I said it was about 60 cars earlier. It's now about 100 vehicles including some 1950s, 1960s lowriders. How low can you go? And I'm looking, I can see a couple of step side trucks, always good. Plenty of chrome glistening in the summer sun. And now the kid carts head out onto the circuit for their final. It'll be a standing start for the kid carts. There are 7 drivers in total. I will bring the grid up very, very shortly. Here is Adam, and here's a commentary box cam for those of you who are suckers for punishment. Say hello, Adam.
Well, I'm trying to see. I don't think my mic is. Oh, here we go. All right, so getting some of the video up. At least the video you will be seeing is our wonderful faces.
Hello, by the way. Yes,
well,
yeah. Someone's been in the sun and someone hasn't.
Actually, hold on. The video.
I'll let you decide which one. There we go.
All right, there we go.
There we go. Well, I've decided to get my face as orange as my Texas Karting League staff shirt, which I've got to say are very impressive. A unique look. This whole championship has a very unique look about it, Adam. As the green flag waves out on circuit, Santiago Salazar, Sullivan Boudoir, Jax McCollum, Dallas Broussard, Mustafa Mohammed, Beckham Hernandez, and Maddie Sampson are all off and running, underway. You've got commentary box camera. Well, this is going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. How unattractive does a commentator look when I'm busy spitting and coughing and splurging away, trying to bring you the race action? Now, camera, because quite frankly, I need to be looking at the circuit. The kid carts are off and racing. They're already through Switchback City. And leading the way. Now, there are several different types of engine here at play. Down towards the boot we go.
It's not showing up
Up the straight towards turn number 13. This race, 7 minutes plus 2 laps. I think our timing screen may have decided to stop time. Well, I've got 6 minutes 20. Ah, there we go. That's a lot better. Always good to just press Control Alt Delete. And Sullivan Boudoir leads the way in kart number 19 at the moment, just in front of Jax McCollum. Now, Dallas Broussard, the privateer driver, in 3rd position. Iron Rock Motorsports run 4th and 5th with Santiago Salazar and Mustafa Mohammed. Out of turn number 9. The top 4 drivers have already broken clear. Down towards turn 10. The boot. Now out of 12. Up the straight. 4 kid carts in a row, being led by the number 19 machine of Sullivan Boudoir, CRG livery machine, I think for Reed Motorsports, the RMS team with the Fleur de Lis as its emblem, side by side for second through turns 1, 2, and 3 between Jax McCollum and Dallas Broussard. Then it's Santiago Salazar, the 4th kart in this lead group. Up the back straight, Mustafa Mohammed, Beckham Hernandez, and Maddie Sampson. Sampson running in her own race. She's a couple of seconds off the pace of everybody else, but it's all about learning at this stage. Yes, it's nice to win on the road. Yes, it's nice to be battling, for an on-track victory. But at this stage of a driver's career, It's simply about enjoying yourself, having fun, and learning and getting quicker. Up the straight, the Reed Motorsport, number 19, Sullivan Boudoir, comes across the front of the dummy grid through the final corner. The number 8 kart, Jax McCollum, for AR Racing, hot on his heels. Then in third position, Dallas Brouchard, privateer driver, really now beginning to put the pressure on McCollum down towards turn number 4. Side by side now, up the back straight between McCollum and Dallas Brouchard. Brouchard has the position as they head into turn number 6. Now through Switchback City. And out again on the run through the left flick and into the boot. Out of the boot, up the straight towards turn number 13. Already Sullivan taking advantage of that swap for second place by extending his advantage. Out of the final corner, it's the number 11 kart, Dallas Brouchard. A total of 9/10 of a second behind the race leader. Another 9/10 of a second back. In third is Jax McCollum with Santiago Salazar right on his heels. Once again, they move up the back straight. The sun is currently directly over the drivers' heads. The trees that line the back straight. Beyond those trees, you can see houses, you can see driveways, you can see little industrial units. And even home to, if you recall watching the Rotax Winter Trophy, those trees and the yards contain a couple of stray dogs that once in a blue moon and make their way out onto the circuit mid-race. That will not be a problem today. All dogs will be safely tucked away. Now, the blue flag is being shown to young Maddie Sampson. She will have to move out of the way of the race leaders who have now started another lap. Their 6th lap. Boudoir, Brouchard, McCollum and Salazar all in a line. Sampson very, very smartly and very awarely gets out of the way. Down the back straight, the drivers come. In fact, well, Jax McCollum swaps to the inside as Sampson now moves to the outside line to allow McCollum and Santiago Salazar to go through, which she does. Salazar takes his time, however, down towards the boot. The top 3 drivers still separated by less than 2 seconds. Sullivan Boudoir, Dallas Brouchard, Jax McCollum. Into turn number 14. 2 laps to go. I'm looking to see Maddie Sampson. Now, the blue flag, does that mean the driver has to pit or does that mean the driver has to get out of the way? Just move out of the way. Excellent. I like that regulation. I am not, I repeat, not a fan of drivers having to pit once they get the blue flag. It teaches you nothing. It teaches the drivers who are getting lapped nothing about awareness and getting out of the way of the leaders. And it teaches the leaders nothing about how to negotiate slower traffic. So great decision making from the officials here at the Texas Karting League to allow drivers who have been lapped just to move out of the way. Their race is not over. How can Maddie Sampson learn when she's spending the last few laps of her race in the pit lane? So bravo to the organisers for enforcing the normal regulation of a blue flag means you get out of the way, but you carry on with your own race. The blue flag, though, has been replaced in the flagman's hand by the white flag, which is now being waved for our four leaders. Behind the four leaders, Mustafa Mohammed and Beckham Hernandez run a distant 5th and 6th. But Sullivan, Boudouin, for Reed Motorsport, Cameron Reed and her father's team. Young Cameron Reed, one of the most impressive young entrepreneurs and team owners in the entire sport of karting. Her team's karts look impeccable. They're always scuff-free, stickered up. And when a kart looks professional, the driver treats it professionally, the chances are it's prepared professionally. And that is what Sullivan Boudoir has had under him for the last 8 laps, and he has transformed that extremely well prepared, well liveried, and clean looking machine into a race winner. Here at Speed Sports Park, Sullivan Boudoir takes the checkered flag, and Dallas Brouchard celebrates just as much with a 2nd place finish. That is something I love to see a driver, because, and I will confess, I don't know Dallas Brouchard. This is the first time I've commentated on him, so I don't know what his level of racing is or his previous results are, even without the help of Carter database. I am still old school. However, the fact that he has just celebrated a P2 there, like he's just won the Formula One World Championship, tells me that he is rightly pleased with himself. He's still got his hands in the air as he comes into pits. Jax McCollum for AR Racing rounds out the podium. Santiago Salazar is 4th. Mustafa Mohammed has come home in 5th position. And in 6th position, Beckham Hernandez. Maddie Sampson does finish. And do you know why? And this completely justifies the regulation that with a blue flag, you carry on racing, you just get out of the way. Because on her last lap, in fact, the last lap of the final, Maddie Sampson sets her fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 30.175. Bravo, series organisers, because if other championships regulations were adhered to, then she would have had to leave the circuit 3 laps earlier, and she would not have set her personal best lap. So well done, Texas Karting League, for implementing the correct way to have a blue flag. It teaches the leaders how to negotiate slower traffic. It teaches slower traffic awareness and flag awareness, situational and race awareness. And it allowed Maddie to learn all those really important things and set her fastest lap on the last lap.
All right, and we now have the heavy and master 206 drivers getting ready to form up right now. Coming to the formation cones, all getting in their lines right now. I see a couple of the flaggers getting them to slow down a little bit. That way you don't get too jumpy. Getting ready to head into the hairpin now.
Michael Greco, great stuff, Adam. Michael Greco, Madison Knox, Haley Knox, Miles Fortenbury, Mark Lasek, Mace's dad, Christian Pugh, and Paul Bubel. Michael Greco did his first ever kart meet last year at Crescent in Texas, around of the Texas Karting League's inaugural season that I was present at. I spoke to Michael, who's lost a lot of weight, as he takes the green flag. He says, I've changed my attitude towards fitness. I've even changed my attitude towards work so I can earn more money, so I can plow it into go-karting. Now, there's the thing. Work harder, earn more to spend on your go-kart. He leads the Tillotson Senior L206 Heavies Stroke Masters down the back straight and into Switchback City. Adam, this class, a class that you're familiar with at all?
Yeah, I went wheel to wheel with Michael at the last TSRS round when he was racing senior. Very patient driver, I'll say. You know, knows not to take any unnecessary risks.
He's learning. Don't worry. Give him another year and he'll be smashing you right off.
And, you know, we kind of have similar driving styles, I'd say. But right now, looks like his driving style is to take the lead and run away with it, as that is exactly what he's doing coming across the line on lap 1. You've got a couple packs from already 2 wide for 4th and 5th, and then second and third are in their own little group. But 206, you see everyone kind of form off into their own groups very early on into the race.
And now that you mentioned that the 2 drivers nose to tail in 2nd and 3rd, that's Madison and Haley Knox, sisters. I have been told on the grapevine that they don't always play nice together. Would that be a correct assumption, maybe?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen any action of them.
This is Adam taking the 5th Amendment, ladies and gentlemen, and not wanting to talk himself into trouble.
Well, I might see them on track, so let's...
And also, he may have to race against them as well. So, at the moment, it is the bright green and white TB kart machine, company based out of Italy, leading Michael Greco with a TB kart race suit as well. Then, 2nd position, because we're audio only, that turquoise, purple and white striped liveried machine, the deep blue crash helmet of Madison Knox, just in front of the hot pink and charcoal grey liveried machine of Haley Knox. They are running about 1.4 seconds behind Michael Greco at the moment, nose to tail, trying to work together. Then, all on his own, in 4th position, the number 530, Miles Fortenbury, white crash helmet, plain blue race suit, white sleeves, all on his own in P4. Then the next battle, Mark Lasek and Christian Pugh, 5th and 6th. Mark Lasek, he's got the white nose cone, white NASA panel, the Iron Rock Rate Motorsports side pods graphics, just like his son Mace. And then behind him, Christian Pugh in kart 510, Pugh on the CRG chassis, CRG graphics kit, white crash helmet. And behind them, going through, the only driver here, now I like old school as much as the next person. How old school is a biker jacket and track pants? That is what Paul Bubel is wearing. Personally, I would like to see the biker jacket and track pants transformed into maybe a kart race suit before too long. But he's not running against the regulations in the Texas Karting League because, of course, TKL. Now, because, of course, this is a grassroots championship. It is aimed at people making their first steps. You've got the great pathway from the L206 kart, the 4-stroke classes, into the Rotax classes. but also you've got, these are hobby karters at their finest. You know, you drive this class, Adam, and you know that a lot of the people you race against, this is what they can afford to do. This is what they're happy doing, and they want to do it the best they can at the best level they can as we now reach halfway through this race. But again, you do get a nice mix of young talent just starting out in karting, maybe looking to move up into the two-stroke divisions, and other drivers who just want to be four-stroke kings through and through, correct?
Correct. And there is a lot of room for growth in the US for these four-stroke racing. You go all the way from club racing, which is a pretty big deal here at Speed Sports. You can move up to something regional, and then eventually take your shot at TKNA or IKF Grand Nats. And the competition there, it's a much larger field.
650 odd karts turn up for the CKNA Grand Finals every year, which is absolutely insane. One or two of them have even got race suits, I've been told.
Yeah, a couple of them like to have some nice decorations on their suit. You've seen previously the tuxedos and the bikinis
Nice
on the sublimated suits, but right now you've got
I've got to say, as we watch Michael Greco cross the line, he was doing the new school lean back, knees up, slipstream effect. Now, I always grew up, when I raced, when you wanted to go quicker, you crunched your head down behind the NASA panel, hunched forward in your seat, just to create maximum aerodynamic efficiency across the top of you. Now, the Japanese drivers that I first came across in about 15 years ago, they had this different style where as they were going down the straight, they would lean back, push their butt forward towards the fuel tank, knees up, and sort of head down to create the aerodynamic effect that way. Greco is doing new school. I'm an old school guy. And then there's obviously those that just don't care. I just drive along without hunching down at all. Those with chiropractors to think about and maybe stuff like that. However, Greco comes out of the final corner. His lead over Madison and Haley Knox, the two Savile Racing drivers, 2 seconds. However, Madison and Haley have now got company in the form of Miles Fortenberry. Fortenberry is catching the Knox sisters. The Knox sisters, there was a couple of knocking between them the last time they were together at TKL on track. Greco, however, I've got to say, Michael Greco, he is not he's not a teenager. Let's put it that way. He's a grown man, and he found karting with the Texas Karting League a year ago. 1 year ago exactly, at Crescent in Texas, the King of the Hill, he entered his very first ever race. And I spoke to him then, and then I spoke to him this morning, in fact. And he just said, it's really, the sport of karting has transformed the way he looks at himself, the way he treats his body, how he eats, how he drinks, how he keeps his fitness levels up. He's lost a lot of weight, and he's also got a lot quicker. And so I'm used to drivers when they're 8, 9 years old winning their first race. I don't see a driver maybe 37, 38 years of old winning their first race. And I've been able to track his career from the very start. This is only a heat race, ladies and gentlemen, but it doesn't matter. It's a race. And he's had competition. A bunch of drivers, 6 other drivers in this race who all badly want to beat him. And yet, Greco has done just what he needs to do. He rounds the boot. He'll get the white flag next time around. I look back to see when Haley Knox, with her all silver crash helmet, iridium visor, chasing her sister Madison, they take the white flag. Miles Fortenberry, 10 kart lengths behind them as they flick left, right, and left again down to the far end of the circuit in front of the rental car park, still massively full with drivers queuing to go on the rental carts here And while they're here, they're taking a good look at the drivers on circuit at the Texas Karting League. And I wonder how many of those rental kart customers will one day end up racing in the Texas Karting League or the other other regional championships. Adam pointing towards himself. Well, we'll get to that story in a minute, because Michael Greco is coming out of the boot. Not the Michael Greco that was in EastEnders, that well-known BBC soap opera. He's a different Michael Greco. This is Michael Greco, the kart racer. This is Michael Greco, the kart heat winner. And as they cross the line, second, third, and fourth, no change. Madison Knox, Haley Knox, and Miles Fortenbury, second, third, and fourth. We wait. Mark Lasek holds off Christian Pugh for fifth position. And Paul Bubel, biker jacket and all, on his way up towards turn 13. He comes around turn number 14, crosses the line. Paul Bubel finishes his heat race, and race number 2 of the day, 3 of the day, is in the history books. Adam, you were talking about you were a rental kart customer that then discovered owner-driver karting here. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I started out with rental carts at that track right there.
The one down to our left, which has now fallen quiet very briefly.
Yeah, and started that in February. And a year later, I'm here doing a couple races here and there.
But also working behind the scenes, the technical side of karting, working for, obviously, Texas Karting League up here in the commentary area, working on the live streaming part of things. But what else?
Yeah, it was just at first I didn't realize how big of an impact that speed sports has in the karting scene. I just came here looking for some rental action, and ended up being a pretty good experience for the rental league for the most part. But getting out of it early on to move into owner karting, get into the 4-stroke racing, definitely a right move. And now looking to have a better season next year. But I think a lot of those people that come here for the rental stuff, they might see the action we have here with however many different series run here. You've got, RMC, TSRS, SCUSA, TKL, club racing.
I mean, virtually every big major national championship, regional championship comes to Speed Sports Racing Park. But now, Adam, it is time for the biggest grid of the day. L206 seniors. Bryce Frank, Jackson Young, Josie Chambers, Carter Kilgo, Samuel Doros, Jacob Oliver, Brody Simmons, Reagan Saville, then Morgan Pelez, Joaquin Flores, Davis Buck, Eva Blem, John Mayo, Rafael Kraus, Holton Edwards, Librado Fuentes, Shelby Ramirez, Lucas Caceres, Colton Taylor, Abby Lindvall, Grayson Pohl, Landon Skinner, and Chris Totke. 21 drivers. And this is, 23 drivers, in fact. This is your bread and butter. Yes, Adam?
Yes, this is a lot of familiar names for me. And gone against a lot of these guys a couple times in TSRS and my one and only club race I've ran. But also taking a lot of pictures for a couple of these guys. And I think your top 6, really, top 8, are all very competitive. And even further on down, there's still a lot of competitive drivers. Joaquin Flores is in the run for the championship, starting 10th right now.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to the championship situation as well tomorrow. Thank you. That's a very good point. This is round 4 out of 5. Oh, it was Pink Floyd that coined the song "The Distant Sound of Thunder," and the flags. Yes.
This is how close the team.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes. So settle by the flags. Yes. Off and racing here in L206 heavy. And I'm looking further back. There's a driver with a Diamante decorated crash helmet, young Shelby Ramirez, that I remember from my time here at Texas Karting last year. A very, very fast young lady indeed. You've got the championship points up there. We've already got a collision on circuit, however, and that is coming out of Switchback City. Two karts trussed together. One of them has lost a NASA panel. Great reactions from the corner worker. Oh, that's fantastic. He gives the NASA panel, which has been ripped off the kart, to the driver. There you go, sir. Take that back to the pit lane. Now, let's have a look. We'll call them through at the end of lap number 1. The 670 of Jackson Young, leading Carter Kilgo, Bryce Frank, Josie Chambers, Samuel Doros, Reagan Saville, Jacob Oliver. I'm looking down to see who was the driver that was caught up, and it was Eva Blem. Eva Blem, a privateer driver. She was caught up with John Mayo. Chris Totke had to take evasive action. Chris is the only driver here. He is an amputee. He lost his lower left leg in a motorbike accident. He has a prosthetic foot, which is one of the really cool ones, you know, like the Olympians use that make you look like Terminator. That's not an advertisement to go and chop your leg off, boys and girls, but it does look really cool, I've got to say, and it doesn't slow Chris Trotke down a smidge. Championship situation, though, Adam.
Yeah, so you've got Joaquin Flores moved up one position on the start of the lap, and now coming across the line again, he's going to hold that 9th position, but you can already see a couple packs forming right now, and, you know.
So, there we go. Yellow flags waving. Now, we've got a driver off the side of the circuit. Joaquin Flores is 9th, but he is your point leader. Where are the other points contenders in the race?
Right ahead of him is the guy second in the championship, Brody Simmons, and then I don't believe Holton Edwards showed up to this race. No, he's down in 12th right there. So all three of your top 3 in the championship are very close. Actually, top 4, you've got Rafael Kraus, and do we have Lucas with us? Yes, Lucas
Caceres is down in 16th place, yeah.
Yeah, so a bit of fighting from all your
regulars.
All your regulars in the series, but I believe your the other names you're seeing, Jackson Young, Carter Kilgo, Bryce Frank, Josie Chambers, aren't usually doing these races. So not to say they would definitely win against these guys, but they seem to have some pretty good success in a lot of the other series. You know, go to CKNA, go to TSRS, the regional and national level 4-stroke racing, but still up front, lots of tight action. You can already see a couple packs forming, and Josie Chambers looking for a move down the inside, and he's going to hold it, keeping that position up into 2nd place. That's going to be on Carter Kilgo. And, you know, turn 6, very high point of action here, and they're going down into turn 11, which is another very big overtaking opportunity for these drivers, but you don't see any action this time around. But right now, those championship leaders we were talking about are split off in a different pack from those guys, but you got a pack of 4 up front with Young, Kilgo, Chambers, and Frank. So Doros is a little bit off them with Seville, but these guys are nose to nose, halfway to go in this race, and you have a small gap between Doros and the other 2 packs formed around him, and we're actually 2 wide coming to the line, way further on back, but it's going to be a move around the outside for Abby Lindvall on Colton Taylor, and that is a clean move done there. But back up front, you can see Josie Chambers is playing the patient game now, and that other pack of 3 is starting to close in more and more.
Question: how much time will the front 4 lose? We got a 4-kart breakaway at the front. Jackson Young, Josie Chambers, Carter Kilgo, and Bryce Frank. They're running nose to tail. They're not defending. They're not slowing each other down. Behind them, 5th, 6th, and 7th, Samuel Doros, Reagan Saville, and Jacob Oliver also running nose to tail. The gap between the top 4 and 5th place is 1.2 seconds. So, as we go side by side for 2nd, the more the front 4 go side by side in these karts, Adam, how quickly will that 2nd pack, 5th, 6th, and 7th catch them if the leaders start to battle?
Well, I think so. Reagan Seville just took the point, and he tends to be a patient driver. And you can see right now, Chambers and Frank are duking it out. Chambers started that lap in second and finished it in fourth. So that just tells you how much these guys are battling. So we've still got a minute 17 plus 2 laps. So a fair bit of racing to go here, a little bit past halfway. And I think you can definitely see coming to the final 2 laps in this race, that pack of 4 increases to a pack of 7. And maybe if they start fighting a little bit more, it'll allow Brody Simmons a better shot at the championship to close into that lead pack. Maybe these guys race a little bit aggressively here, free up some space for him, and that'll help him close that gap down to Joaquin Flores. But right now, the gap is going to stay pretty consistent. It went up to 1.9 since that pack of 3, but we are coming to the line once again as Jackson Young and Kilgo cross the line. Young to the point, Chambers and Seville is now 2.1 seconds. So it looks like that pack is going to keep on fighting. Personally, you see this a lot in the 4-stroke racing where you get these packs to break away and everybody wants to lead the pack. So they feel like they have a bit more speed ahead, and it just ends up with a lot of back and forth.
Change for second place. Josie Chambers back at the inside of Carter Kilgo at turn number 6. Now, championship situation. Brody Simmons running in 8th position. He's second in the championship, but he's 8th all on his own. 9th and 10th in the race, Rafael Kraus and Joaquin Flores. Flores lead the championship, pushing his title rival along. Up at the front, we've got another change. It looks like it's the 645 kart. Josie Chambers has gone round the outside at turn number 13. That the intrepid race suit on the Goodwood Kartways livery go-kart of Josie Chambers. 2 laps to go, and Chambers now leads. The gap back to the 5th place driver, Reagan Saville, has decreased. It's now 1.8 seconds. 2 laps to go. That's 1 3/4 laps to go now as they all flood down the back straight. And move for second place. That's Bryce Frank at turn number 6, putting into P2. That electric blue liveried kart of Carter Kilgo. Such a really good metallic paint scheme, shimmering in the sun. He's got a matching electric blue crash helmet. He's got the best seat in the house for this. Side by side, coming out of the boot, up towards turn number 10. And here we go. Kilgo is down to second. Coming out there, Carter Kilgo. You were just saying something about how impressive he was. Well, he's just proved it. Adam, he leads the championship in TSRS. Is that correct?
That is correct. He's looking, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it is a significant point gap. He started the season at this track, taking his first win in TSRS, and it has been a very good season. But that pack has now increased to 7. As we said, they are all closed in together on the white flag lap, and we have 3 wide almost going into turn 6. It looks like Kilgo's going to try to stay ahead, but they're 2 wide. 2 rows back, and actually it looks like Reagan Seville take a look at the inside, but can he go around the outside in these double apex here?
3 wide.
Reagan Seville is off the track. There he goes. A shot at the heat win is out the window now, but can he recover a couple positions as everyone else is still really close together? On the inside, Josie Chambers has to hold it around the outside to defend, and it looks like, I'm not sure who exactly it is, we have 3 wide going.
Kilgo around the outside. Kilgo takes a great move round the outside there. He was 3rd. He led this race at the start of the last lap. Then he dropped to 3rd. 2, 4, 6 of them come to the line together. Oh my goodness, this is a race they should have just let them run till they run out of gas. Carter Kilgo takes the race win from Josie Chambers, Bryce Frank, Jackson Young. Samuel Doros comes home in 5th position. Jacob Oliver and Reagan Saville, 7th. Brody Simmons finishes 8th. And on the last lap, Joaquin Flores drops to 11th. Landon Skinner comes home 9th. Rafael Kraus is 10th. Flores 11th. Holton Edwards is 12th. And the Saville Racing team. Now, Saville Racing, that would be Reagan Saville's family team?
Reagan Seville actually recently split off and made his own team, and this is the first running of that team. He got a lot of the sort of veterans in the 206 class together, and as you can see, it is proving to be pretty successful team going against the likes of Alan Rudolph Racing Academy.
Oh yes,
And,
of course. Yeah, I
a
mean,
very established team. So for Seville Racing to be, this many people in the top 10 first time out, even in the heat race, very impressive showing for them. But we are getting ready now for the junior drivers of 206 to come out here on the grid. And right now,
well, let's have a look. 23 starters, 21 finishers. Librado Fuentes and Eva Blem failed to finish. Chris Totke finishing 21st. Then it is Grayson Pohl, 20th. John Mayo, 19th. Lucas Caceres was 18th. Colton Taylor, Abby Linval. Shelby Ramirez finishing 15th. Morgan Palez finishing 14th. Davis Buck, 13th. Holton Edwards, Joaquin Flores, Rafael Kraus are next in line. But the recovery vehicle goes back out. You can have a Haribo for being a good boy, Adam. And we will. It's, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I got to say, sometimes when you need a lift, you need to lift your spirits. You need a lift. You need a bit of laughter. Karting can be a fantastic way of raising those spirits and feeding my brand new co-commentator. Do you realise something, Adam? That in the last 18 months, you're my 19th different co-commentator. I won't let you know what happens the first 18. I'm joking. But laughter, quite frankly, is the best medicine. And now, another of those, if you're familiar with my work, you will know that every other race or so, I nip outside to check the weather. And I'm going to go and nip outside and check the weather very shortly, because Adam Nunez will bring you the starting lineup for Junior 206.
Yeah, so recovery vehicle is coming back now with the machine of Librado Fuentes. But before they get all the way back, I can go ahead and take you through your 206 Junior starting grid. So Nico Orbeso on pole position with a flying 203.2. And Sawyer Chambers is in second with a 203.7. Now, your second row is going to be Clayton Stiles and Levi Metter. Third row is going to be Simon Nguyen and Mia Johnson. And you're going to go down to seventh place that has Malik Muhammad. Max Estrada is in eighth. Cole Bergea is in ninth. Dylan Silver is in 10th. And Davis Buck is going to round off your 206 Junior grid for the Heat Race 1. So right now we got the recovery vehicle still working its way on back. But to get an insight into what these guys are going to be fighting for this race, pulling up the championship points right now. All right, track is clear, and the 206 Junior grid is making their way outside, and it looks like we have actually lost our Wi-Fi. Did it affect the live stream? But all right, looks like our stream is still running. I just cannot access any more of my championship points, but it is all right. We are going to go racing anyway. Who really cares about the championship when you've got this much racing action taking to the grid right now? And these four-stroke guys, lots of fun racing still to come here. As we, after this race, you're gonna have your senior max, but for right now, you've got your 10 drivers. It looks like Davis Buck is gonna stay out yet again. Did not make it to the grid this time. Not sure if he's been having car troubles this weekend, but Davis Buck will stay out of this race. So we're going to have 10 drivers for your 206 Junior Heat 1, and that is going to be 7 minutes plus 2 laps. So as you heard from our last race, we have a good amount of time for some good racing action here. But Nico Orbeso in that Iron Rock with Sawyer Chambers and the Reed Motorsports behind. And you were talking earlier about how well put together the Reed Motorsport team has been.
Yes. One Cameron Reed at University of LU, which I'm assuming is Louisville? No, Louisiana? no, something like that. LU. Won a $10,000 award for young entrepreneur, which she very, very wisely bought a new team tent with, which I think is fantastic. That's what you do with your money. Earn win $10,000 for being a great young entrepreneur. Plow it all into karting. Lafayette University, yes, with the fleur de lis. That's where the fleur de lis comes from. Henry, what are you talking about? Okay, here we go. The 838. Nico Orbezo brings the juniors to the line. Lights go out. We're off and racing down towards turn number 1. Orbezo gets the whole shot, the jump. Now he flicks the kart right and left again. He's the only driver with the correct racing line out of our sight. Out at turn 4. Then through turn 5, down the back straights. Count them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Everyone through cleanly. Under the tree line. Hard braking zone. For turn number 6, Orbezo keeping Sawyers, Chambers, Styles, Miador, Neugen, Johnson, Mohammed, Estrada, Wrecker, and Silva at bay. Now, through Switchback City, out of turn number 10, into the boot we go. The top 3 trying to break away. Orbezo, who will go to Portimao as a first-time member of Team USA. They complete lap number 1. Down through the flip-flop sections, the far end of the circuit. Orbezo, Styles, and Sawyer Chambers. Nose to tail. A gap develops to Simon Neugen, Levi Miador, and Mia Johnson. Change for the race lead at turn number 6, or is there? Because Styles gets to the inside of Orbezo. Orbezo comes straight back at him at the inside for the second part of Switchback City. Now down towards the boot. Sawyer Chambers in the number 845 kart watches on. Gets side by side with Styles exiting the boot. Up the straight. Oh, behind them, somebody has stopped and is out of the race. We'll see it's a CRG kart drive with a black crash helmet getting up out of the kart and very sensibly pushing it to the middle of the circuit. We'll get a name check on that driver next time. Oh, it was Mia Johnson. Mia Johnson from the top 5 out of the race. Now we are running down the back straight. Lap number 3. The top 3 still nose to tail. A gap back to Neugen and Miador. All on their own in 4th and 5th. Then another gap back to 6th, 7th, and 8th. Dylan Silva, Malik Mohammed, Cole Rakia. Nose to tail with Max Estrada just behind them. Out of the boot. Up the straight towards turn number 13. Come the leaders. Orbezo. Still at the head of the train. Doesn't defend into turn number 14. So he's going to get maximum drive out of the final corner. Through down the start-finish straight. He's being pushed along now by second place driver Sawyer Chambers. Clayton Styles, a kart length back in 3rd. That doesn't matter. That is perfectly close enough to take advantage should anything happen. Between the top 2, Orbezo and Styles. Orbezo and Chambers. Through turn number 6 we go again. This is where, a couple of laps ago, Styles stole the lead away from Orbezo, and Orbezo fought straight back. Towards the boot we go, one more time. Now up the straight. Into turn number 13. Chambers sits, rooted on the rear bumper of Orbezo's kart. Cross flags in the air. Halfway home here in Junior 206, heat race number 1. Still nothing to choose between the top 2. In fact, Styles, still that 1-2 kart lengths back. Closes up under braking for turn 6. Through switchback City. Now into turns 8 and 9. That double right, leading you down the straight away from our commentary position into the boot. And still Orbezo doesn't defend. Chambers hasn't pulled the pin on a move just yet. This is patience now, Adam Nunes. This is patience. Will patience pay off for Chambers, or will he get sucked into a situation where Styles closes in, and of course, every time Chambers moves offline to try and make a pass to pick up a place, then Orbezo, then Styles can make a move as well. So he's got to think of defense with one mind, and he's got to think of attack with the other. Down the main straight again, Levi Meador, Simon Neugen, they're 4.5 seconds back. In 4th and 5th. Meador in the CRG is now P4. Lap times, Adam, you're looking there. The lap times, well, from qualifying, the best lap was a 1:02.
This is senior versus.
Oh, senior. Oh, right. Okay. So the juniors are actually lapping within half a second of the seniors. Now, that's going to be a different weight category, but also, you know, the seniors are slightly heavier. Is there a power difference? Is there a difference in performance between a junior 206 engine and a senior 206 engine?
Yes, you have the different slider on for the 206 juniors. So a little bit limited on how much power you can pull out. And I also believe it's a different ignition coil, so limited on the RPMs as well. But slight power difference from the two, but that reduced weight limit helps out a little bit. And Nico Orbezo also just seems to be a very fast driver, to be actually faster than a couple of the 206 junior drivers, or actually a fair bit of them. And
well, Orbezo has just seen Chambers and Styles swap places for second. However, Styles, he made the one move. Chambers fought back straight away. Further back in the pack, battles going on between Max Estrada, Cole Requia, Dylan Silva, Malik Mohammed. Mia Johnson's kart sits still forlornly in the middle of the track. Mia is quite sensibly sitting under an umbrella out at the marshal post there, watching the rest of the racing carry on. 2 sticks in the air, 2 laps to go. Now Chambers applying the pressure on Orbezo. This is where Orbezo must start to defend, correct?
Yes, Orbezo has to be a very smart driver on these last couple of laps. You know, you can't gotta use those 2 drivers. But further on back, you actually have a move down the inside for 4th place, and I believe that was Nguyen on Metter. But back up to the front, those 2 drivers are going to be battling the remainder of this race back and forth. But it looks like Nico Orbezo is going to hold defensive for these final 2 laps, as Clayton Styles is right on the bumper of them now. They are going to be battling to the line, just like we saw in 206 Senior.
Sorry, Orbezo didn't defend Adam. Going into turn number 14, he finds himself on the outside. And as they start the final lap, Nico Orbezo loses first. He scrambles back online. Is that Nico in 2nd place, or has he dropped to 3rd? Sawyer Chambers takes the lead. You were just saying that Orbezo, but he forgot to defend into the final corner. Maybe he's thinking it's the penultimate lap. I've still got time. They're not going to make a move. Now Orbezo on the attack around the outside. Here comes Orbezo. He's 3rd at the moment. Through switchback City. Sawyer Chambers has the race lead. Styles and Orbezo side by side for P2. Sawyer Chambers into the boot. He defends. Orbezo round the outside. 3 wide for the race lead. Half a lap to go. Less than half a lap to go. They're spinning and crashing at the back. But we'll focus on the front. Here's the move into the final corner. Can he get the kart slow down? He runs wide. That was Clayton Styles. Chambers on the inside out of the final corner. Chambers takes it by half a kart length from Styles and Orbezo. Further back, you were looking at some action going on for the minor placings, Adam, as Goyen and Miador finished 4th and 5th. Who was involved in that incident further back? It was Rakia and Estrada coming together, but they don't both recover to finish in 8th and 9th.
And it looks like Mia Johnson is getting the cart hand pushed back to the pits by...
Is that John Mueller himself? Series boss, John Mueller, who's not wearing his hats that he had to put on, naughty boy. He is pushed. Maybe the cart's holding him up in the heat. I don't know.
And Mia taking a...
And she's being brave. She's jogging. My word. There's Mason, our social media camera guy. His blue Texas Karting League shirt has turned a slightly different color. It is so hot out there. Looking at the local time, and I will get this. So we're in New Caney, Texas, boys and girls. For those of you watching, listening in back home, 97 degrees Fahrenheit at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, I can do the translation. So Celsius, ladies and gentlemen, for those what do things in Celsius, that is 36 degrees Celsius at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's about as hot. In fact, it tipped over 100 degrees Fahrenheit about an hour ago. Aren't we lucky? It's only 98 degrees Fahrenheit now. Wow. The humidity, 52%. I think they're missing a 0 at the end of the 52. This is something that you guys and girls in Texas are used to dealing with on a daily basis during the summer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty common occurrence. Actually, 52 is a pretty nice day of weather.
What?
Humidity is usually a lot higher, but Senior Max is going out to the grid right now as
headline class.
Timing is not updated just at the moment, but I can pull up the grid on Discord, as everybody uses Discord for everything until they forget to check it throughout the day.
Everyone uses Discord for everything as long as they're less than 20 years old, I think is. So, Senior Rotax, the main event, the main category. Here, I gotta say, with no disrespect to anybody else, but Senior Max, that's where the top guys and girls come out to play. The superstars of the Rotax world in Senior Rotax. Here is your starting lineup. It's going to be Joey Friend, championship leader on pole position alongside Tommy Traylor, his title rival. Ethan Wilson and Cameron Reed on row number 2. Josh Norman and Dylan Ashtari on row 3. Aidan James and Davis Buck on row number 4. And Jaden Sadek on row number 5. This again will be halfway point of our racing here today. This is race number 5. And they're coming to the line, Adam.
Yeah, we've got Joey Friend leading us away, is going to take an early lead, and it looks like he's going to already have a decent gap as everyone else goes too wide further on back. We lose our vision for a half second. Looks like someone didn't even make it to the start, pulled off to the side of the cutoff, but coming out onto the straightaway now, someone had a bad exit in 4th position, and that's going to allow the machine of Dylan Ashchari and Josh Norman to close in a little bit. But up at the lead. Joey Friend already has what seems to be a 3/10 gap as the
over Ethan Wilson. That bright pink crash helmet of Ethan Wilson. Very distinctive Bell crash helmet design in second place. We'll try and get a name check on the kart that we lost. In fact, well, 8 drivers started this race. We had 9 on the grid. I will try and double check to see who that is. Where is Cameron Reed? She's there. And I'm looking to see who might it have been that didn't come around. We've got Friend, Wilson, Trailer, Reed, Norman, Ashtari. It was Jaden Sadek. Jaden Sadek, who now, did you say? He has stopped his car, didn't even make it to the start line. We've got a battle over second place. It is Tommy Trailer passing Ethan Wilson. So the 2 title rivals, Trailer and Friend, now run 1-2. Cameron Reed sits in 4th place. What can that young lady do? The Reed Motorsport driver. I hope I'm not doing her dad an injustice by saying it's her team. I think it's a family-run team. I think Cameron probably, well, you know, she's I've known Cameron now for a little while, and diminutive in stature, but she does have a voice, and she's not afraid to use it, I think is the best way.
All right, and got off to a little bit of a bad start on lap 1, dropping down to 5th, but did not take long to get past Josh Norman back up into 4th. Believe that move was made into turn 13, which is just out of my view, but right in Henry's. And looks like Joey Friend doesn't like to sit around anybody. He's got a gap of 1.6 seconds while everybody behind him is already splitting off into their groups. You've got a group of 3 from 2nd to 4th, and you've got another group of 3 from 5th to 7th. Actually, that group becomes 2 groups of 2 now, with Ashtari and James battling it out, and 7th and 8th. Norman and Buck, 5th and 6th. But further on back, or up front, Trailer and Wilson keep on trading spots, which allows Cameron Reed to close in further to this battle. She is now less than a kart length away, as looks like coming across the line once again. Joey Friend pulls that gap further ahead, but Cameron Reed is now bumper to bumper on Trailer as Wilson tries to escape those 2. He knows they're both very fast drivers, both very talented drivers, but how long will it take for Cameron Reed to pop up to the point of that second to 4th back?
It's really good, really good. Now, we watch the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place drivers. Ethan Wilson back to the inside of Tommy Trailer down at turn number 6. He holds on to position through Switchback City. That opens the door for Cameron Reed. Reed now moves into 3rd. Trailer cannot lose too much ground to his title rival, Joey Friend. I don't know what the points deal is. We'll catch up properly with points, although Adam Nunez is already whirring into action to bring you absolute up-to-date points standings. Friend comes across the line. Cross flags in the air. Wilson, 2nd. Actually, that's Ethan Wilson in Joey Friend's spare race suit after Ethan Wilson's race suit broke this morning. Adam Nunez, Joey Friend leading. Tommy Trailer in 4th position. Already, Trailer was had a deficit to Friend. What was his deficit in the championship?
About, looks like 73 points off, and you get 100 points for winning the pre-final, and looks like 100 points for winning the heat race, and 200 points for winning the final. So these 2 heat races matter half as much as the final, but they're both equally as important as the final for trying to close that gap down, because that gap is still very achievable, especially considering you have a drop round out of the whole series. So Tommy Trailer seems to have gotten disqualified in qualifying in one of these races, but didn't go too bad. However, still a lot of points on the board for these guys.
Yeah, 400 points this weekend, 400 points next. Oh, a technical flag going out. Now, the meatball flag. Black flag, big orange dot on it. That is for Dylan Ashtari, I believe. Ashtari is down in 8th position. Well, let's check. I didn't see the number on the board. We'll see who pulls off. Now, hand in the air. I think it might be Josh Norman, in fact. It is Josh Norman. Pulls into pits and stacks it, coming into pit lane. Oh, Josh, I know you've recently got married. That is no way to celebrate nuptials by smashing your go-kart up. He did have his hand in the air, and he was right in front of two other drivers, however, so he didn't want to slow them down. That is pit lane barrier 1, Josh Norman's go-kart 0. It was already damaged. It's now a bit more damaged. So, back to the action. 1 minute plus 2 laps to go. It's an MSL 1-2. Massimo and Marcello Sanchez Lara. Marcello would be very upset if I did not mention his name. The brothers, the Sanchez Lara brothers, running 1-2 as well, those two CRGs. Now, Ethan Wilson, he has not been karting very long. Cameron Reed and Tommy Trailer, far more experienced than Wilson, who does get it wrong. There he is. He shows inexperience. Outbreaks himself going into the boot. Now, this is important for Wilson. There goes Reed to the inside. Oh, and a little bit of a hip check from Cameron. And here comes Tommy Trailer. Sometimes that happens. Your Tommy Trailer is sitting in 4th position, and 3rd and 2nd go for a move. New fastest lap, however, for Joey Friend. He's 7.5 seconds up the road. This is dominance that we haven't seen so far today, Adam.
Yeah, usually with the other class that we've seen, especially the 4-stroke racing, it's all been very tight, very back and forth, very yo-yo style. And you see a little bit of that in the second pack, but you haven't seen someone as dominant in this class as Joey Friend, or in their class, out of this weekend so far. We still have some racing action left to go with Micro and Mini up next and Junior after that. But right now, Joey Friend pulling away with this race by quite a good margin. But you can also see further on back, the little pack of 3 we had is starting to spread out a little bit more. Maybe they're being a bit more conservative going into these final 2 laps as Joey Friend sails on to the straightaway before anyone else can cross the finish line. And that gap is now up to 8.3 seconds, with Tommy Trailer having his own 6/10 second gap on Cameron Reed. So that group has spread out a little bit more, but it looks like Wilson is starting to close in a little bit to Reed. Might be help with the draft, might just be a better exit, but
yeah,
going into the braking zone, looks like the braking zone might have been a better time gain for Ethan Wilson.
Okay. Now, behind Ethan Wilson, Davis Buck runs in 5th position. Wilson looking to the inside of Cameron Reed, coming out of turn number 9, side by side. Wilson trying to go around the outside on the approach to the boot. That is the move of the day so far. A Slim Shady round the outside for Ethan Wilson on Cameron Reed at the boot. Well, Adam, first time up here in the commentary box with me, and you've seen a Slim Shady in the flesh.
That's right, and you can also see now why Davis Buck did not make the 206 Junior race, because he is currently racing Senior Max, which,
yes,
considering they run back to back,
yeah, that's a hefty order for anybody, I've got to say. But that move from Ethan Wilson, well, it's not done yet. We are on the final lap. The battle is for 3rd position. Joey Friend is going to take the win. Tommy Trailer is going to take 2nd. Who is going to finish 3rd? Is it going to be Ethan Wilson, or is it going to be Cameron Reed? Down to the boot for the final time. Wilson runs a bit wide again. He's running too wide to that corner. He's going to have to just sharpen that up a little bit. But up at the front of the field, it is a win for championship leader Joey Friend. Cameron Reed doesn't look too happy with P4. Tommy Trailer 2nd. So Trailer, in some situations, that is the best he could hope for. With Friend up the road, you've got to make sure you minimize the damage. And that is what Tommy Trailer did, taking advantage of that battle between Cameron Reed and Ethan Wilson. Wilson, P3. Reed, P4. Davis Buck, P5. Aidan James, P6. Dylan Ashtari, P7. Josh Norman, sadly, fails to finish. And Cameron Reed just had to get in front of Ethan Wilson on the run into the scale line. Like I said, diminutive in stature, but that young lady has a voice. I have a feeling Ethan Wilson might hear that voice very soon. Although I have to say the move that Wilson pulled to eventually take the position was outstanding.
Yeah, and
Oh.
we don't have a mobile camera down in the pits or the scale lines this time.
Probably a
And,
good thing, actually, I got to say.
well, we want to keep this video up on YouTube.
Yes,
so-
yeah, it's a family show, ladies and gentlemen, a family show.
But we can still have our fun with it. So for the time being, it looks like that gap in the championship for Joey Friend is only going to go up by 10 points to trailer, which, as you mentioned, that's the minimized damage for trailer. But still a lot of points left on the table for this weekend, and still a lot of points left on the table for this season. So we're getting ready now to go to our micro mini max group, and that's
Mini Max, yeah, Mini Max. It's
mini max.
Mini Max. We got the next races, Adam. Mini, Junior, then Micro, all the Rotax classes. The last two races, we got Master Max and Club Max together, and then the FZ125 shifters. Now, I have noticed a lot of really cool. I've noticed a lot of people have been losing weight this year, you know, myself included. I have tried to shed a couple of pounds. There's a lot of other people in the paddock that are, by various methods are losing weight. A 97-degree day will also help you lose weight. Do you know what else will help you lose weight very, very quickly and very suddenly? Is drinking the cup of Starbucks. Other coffee shops are available. The nice cup of Starbucks coffee hazelnut gelato, which somebody has left in the windowsill here in the commentary box since 9 o'clock this morning. I would suggest that drinking that would lead to instant weight loss from both ends of the spectrum. That might take anyone, any takers up here in the commentary box? No? Well, let's just make sure that we recycle the glass, if nothing else. But yes, on a day like today, ladies and gentlemen, do not leave any milk-based products in the sun for more than, I would say 3 seconds. How much milk would you like? 1 lump or 2? Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. No sooner do the seniors head back. It's time for Mini Max out on circuit. A good grid of mini drivers led by Tyler Blackwood with Cohen Scott, championship leader, Mace Lasik, Andres Pena, just moving up from micro to mini for this weekend. Wyatt White, Mikey Todd, Jude Hendrickson, Marcelo Tosta, Jaden Jolivet, Drew Blem, Alan Zadik, Valentin Avellino, Alexander Mosley, and Liam Haswell. In between there, we have got our Kensley Howie in 12th position. Now, when I got an Uber to the circuit yesterday afternoon, will there be video tomorrow? Well, there may be, but there may not be. And there will be audio. Oh, there will be audio of this event. Old school radio. Henry Baudette, myself, and Adam Nunes will attempt to paint some pictures for you with our voices. As long as the paint doesn't melt on the canvas, because the canvas is so hot. Mini Max. I was given a lift to the circuit yesterday. I had an Uber. A gentleman by the name of Stanley, who is a gentleman of a certain vintage. We pulled into the circuit as Mini Max were on circuit. He went, "Oh my goodness, those carts are really fast." I was like, "Yeah, those drivers are 10." And he looked at me and went, "Sorry, excuse me, but they're really fast." I was like, "Yes, they're 10 years old. I never knew this existed." And therein lies part of the problem with karting, that so many people don't know it exists. However, those that do know it exists know just how talented these 10, 9, 10, 11-year-olds are in Minimax, and they're not even the youngest. It's the Bennett cart of Tyler Blackwood leading 14 other Minimax drivers to the line. Lights go out. We're off and racing down towards turns 1, through the flip-flop sections at 1, 2, and 3. Somebody over the grass on the entrance to turn number 4. And that in the midfield allows the top 2, 4, 6 drivers to get a little breakaway on everyone else down the back straight, but everyone else is still there. Down the back straight. Oh no! Pena tripping over Cohen Scott. I think that was Cohen Scott and Pena coming together. They bounced through the air. Definitely Andres Pena was one of the 2 drivers involved. They're both back underway. Pena at the back of the field will get a number check on the other driver involved next time around. But it's Blackwood leading from Mace Lasik up at the front, and we'll see who is in third place. It's the number 112 car, Mikey Todd. For the MSL team, so Reed Motorsports is third. Wyatt White. It was Pena and Kensley Howie who came together. Liam Haswell and Alex Mosley from the back of the grid. They have all made a decent start. Cohen Scott is back to 11th. So Cohen Scott was also involved. But Adam, as you look up there, race leader Tyler Blackwood has got a handy little advantage over Mace Lasek and Mikey Todd.
Yeah, so these guys have been in the midfield right now. You have a lot of tight racing, but just further up front, this two-stroke racing is a different kind of style of racecraft to the four-stroke that we've seen for the most part of the day, or haven't seen but heard. And
very good, very good.
So far, Tyler Blackwood seems to have it figured out the most, having a fastest lap 3/10 better than second, and almost a second better than anybody else that is at the track. And he decides to improve that to a record for the weekend with a 57.3, 4/10 faster than or second place. So that gap is going to keep on increasing. But looks like Mikey Todd is going to keep on closing that gap down to Mace Lasek, closing in 3/10 that last lap, as your front five all have massive gaps between them besides your front two. It looks like further on back in maybe 7th position, there is a move down the inside.
There is a move down the inside through Switchback City. That was between Jaden Jolivet, Drew Blem, and Cohen Scott. Now, back up at the front, Tyler Blackwood leads. He leads by, at the start of this lap, his lead was 9/10 of a second. Lasik and Mikey Todd are working together. Let's see if that tactic is working or whether Blackwood is simply a cut above them at the moment. The answer is the latter. He is a cut above at the moment. The gap goes out to 1.1 seconds. Now, between Blackwood, Lasik, and Todd, Wyatt White, all on his own in 4th position. Then a big gap back to Alan Zenik. Zenik in the number 126. Coming up out of the boot towards turn number 13. On the track there, we're looking now. One of the drivers on track, Adam Nunes, eagle-eyed amongst us, has spotted that something has fallen off one of the carts and is nestling on the circuit, well, just off the circuit, on the approach to turn number 13. It looks quite a sizable piece of debris. The start line official, the flagman, is walking over now to pick it up, and it's a chain guard. And that will mean, well, we'll soon know whose cart that chain guard is off, because the meatball flag will be being unfurled. No change on circuit for the race lead. Blackwood is ahead of Lasik and Todd now by 1.6 seconds. Behind Lasik and Todd, Wyatt White is there 9/10 of a second further back in 4th position, running all on his own. Cohen Scott, a great recovery from Cohen Scott, 11th at the end of lap number 1. He's 5th now. But Adam, I'm looking at the top 4. The top 4, well, the leader, we talked about 1.6 seconds, Tyler Blackwood ahead of Lasik and Todd. Lasik and Todd, 9/10 of a second in front of Wyatt White. Wyatt White and 3 carts going for a spin coming out of Switchback City. Cohen Scott is 5th, but he is 5 seconds behind the 4th place. And I think Cohen Scott was the first driver to kick up the dust that caught 3 others out. Yes, it is. The number 192. He's still there in 5th position, but you've got Scott just in front of the 1, 2, 3 of Alex Mosley. And then Andres Pena. Who are we looking at, Adam, that has come out of the race? Well, Valentin Avellino, I believe. Oh, Alan Zanuck and Drew Blem were both spinners, and I'm waiting to see which one of them isn't going to cross the line. I've got a feeling it's the Bosnian driver, the driver with the Bosnian flag, Alan Zanuck, going across the line now. So it's Drew Blem out of the race. Drew Blem out of the race. The best battle now, Andy, is for 5th position. Adam, between 5th position between Cohen Scott, Alex Mosley, Andres Pena, and Marcelo Tosta.
Yeah, it looks like all those guys have closed into each other. I'm not sure. This race has been hectic from the start and going to be hectic to the end of it, but we have 10 seconds plus 2 laps. So next time by, you're going to see the 2 sticks in the air to signify 2 laps to go. But for the time being, we have a very interesting battle. Meatball flag flies in the air for that driver.
Is, I will tell you who that is. That is Jude Hendrickson. That is the driver whose kart has lost the chain guard.
Yeah, and it's very fortunate that chain guard came off on someone that was further on back in the race, because something like that, of that size, going that fast.
Yeah, into a big pack of karts, you make a very, very good point. That is a very good point, one that I hadn't even considered. Yes, that doesn't want to be. You don't want to be the first kart in a big pack to lose a chain guard, because obviously all the drivers have got safety gloves, race suits, crash helmets, visors down. They are protected, but of course, still, a bit of sharp plastic hitting you in the bonds as you're driving at 50 miles an hour. You'll know about that.
Yeah, so at the moment you see 2 very interesting battles to keep track of. You got the battle for 2nd and 3rd, which is Todd on the inside of Lasik, jumping up into 2nd position, going in through turns 6, 7, 8, 9.
The Switchback City.
That's one of the most interesting places to be at here in New Caney. But further on back, you have a battle from 5th place down on to 8th place, and it's 4 karts. Looks like someone's going to take a move to the inside, try and recreate the move that lost Cameron Reed 1 position by Ethan Wilson, but he's going to stick back, stay conservative, and back up front to 2nd and 3rd. You have a battle as the white flag goes in the air for Tyler Blackwood.
2nd place, side by side. Todd passes Lasek as they cross the line down towards turn number 1, through turn 1, through turn 2, through turn 3, out of our sight, around turn 4, back into view at turn 5. Still the CRG of Mikey Todd in front of the all-white Iron, the Reed Motorsport CRG, and the Iron Rock Motorsport, I believe that's a Tony kart of Mace Lasek. Lasek back to the inside at turn number 6, however. Now, the checkered flag is going to be waiting. It's been an exemplary performance for Tyler Blackwood, but Mace Lasek saving his best till the last lap. One more section to go for Tyler Blackwood. In the final corner, the Bennett kart of Blackwood has been faultless, and he comes across the line to take the victory. Tyler Blackwood lights the flag. Championship leader Mace Lasik 2nd. Then it's Mikey Todd 3rd. Wyatt White finishes a strong 4th. And look at this battle pack coming across the line. It is Cohen Scott, Alex Mosley, Andres Pena, and Marcelo Tosta rounding out your top 8. Then Jaden Jolivet, Hensley Howie will finish in. No, he won't. Liam Haswell takes 10th. Ahead of Jude Hendrickson, then Kensley Howie, Valentin Avellino, and we wait. The last driver home will be Alan Zanuck. I'm trying to get into a fit. What we have to when I'm handing you the voice, finish the sentence. And lap number 2. That's almost your signal to come in. Yep, no commentator. I'm waiting for your signal. When you finish a point, then bring. We don't have to try and interrupt. Not fire this way. Learning thing. When you can't, have you commentated?
A couple times.
Okay, go. That's sorry, so. You want me on your own? Like this. I'm saying. At the point, then almost leave out. Like a carry on if I don't. It's almost like you said, make a point. I'm moving. I'm waiting to hear your tone. Voice. Go up. Sometimes with you commentate.
We'll see. Dude, Henderson ignored the meatball.
Oh boy. Okay, so situation like that. That's going to be. Let's see. This. Honestly.
Is that the last race?
No.
3. Econ.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of a very exciting Minimax race, here is your timetable for the rest of the day. We have got Junior Rotax up next. Then we have Micromax, followed by the combined Master and Club Max field. And we round out the day here at the Texas Karting League with the FZ125 shifter category. Thank you for joining us on the audio only version of today's live stream. They've got to say that there is an awful lot to be said for radio commentary. It's a great learning tool for any aspiring commentator because your voice is the only thing connecting the listener to the event. So you have to paint the pictures with your voice. The picture that's being painted now is Bob Williams is standing at the front of the dummy grid in front of the Junior Rotax drivers. Junior Rotax. Now, Adam Nunez is an aspiring young commentator. What have you commentated on so far?
Done a couple things on iRacing with my own team. Did a couple small leagues there, and then did a singular remote commentary thing with Kart Chaser. Hoping to do a couple more in the future.
So this is your first live at track, real life, because iRacing is a computer game and that doesn't count. I'm old and I don't care what you think. No, it's a very useful thing, but I am old school. So if you're first live at event kart commentary, it's audio only. So this is a real, it's an absolute commentary treat for you, Adam. I'm going to go and check the weather. You're going to talk about Alex Chandler, Clayton Stiles, Nico Orbezo, Emma Eddles, and the rest of the Junior Rotax field.
Yeah, so Iron Rock seems to have a pretty good program right now, running all front 3 positions. Nico Orbezo, Clayton Stiles, and Alex Chandler, all very competitive drivers on their own in Rotax. I believe all 3 of them competed at RMC Americas, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe Nico Orbezo had a pretty good running there. And but anyway, Alex Chandler is going to be starting on pole position for this TKL Round 4 race, Heat 1 in Junior Max Rotax. And right now they are getting formed up, getting ready to pass the cone. We have 13, 14 drivers maybe in this lineup. And it's going to be a couple transponder issues, but we will find out who they are soon enough. But the rest of the grid, you got Emmett Eddles, Tanner Barsh, Yomi Vargas, someone in 7th position, Kimo Ahmed in 8th, Nicholas Castro in 9th, Adrian Vargas in 10th, Sofia Sedigova in 11th, Ivan Garcia in 12th, and Nola Mueller in 13th. So, coming to the line, Alex Chandler waiting for that green flag to go in there, waiting for the lights to go out, and they are on the power. Looks like it is a good start, and away we go. 2 wide into turns 1, 2, and 3. It looks like, oh, everyone's off, and it looks like someone went through the flag marshal's tent, but that allows, I believe, Clayton Stiles or one of the Iron Rock machines. Can't tell just yet because it is on the straightaway. to get a good start, get away. But second place, someone makes a move down the inside. Third place was in second a couple corners ago, is now pushed on down to fourth. So not a good start for them. But further on back, we have a lot of mix-ups between here we go, and another person is off track into turn. Looks like 8 and 9. So lots of action has been happening in those corners today. But the driver in the lead of this race coming to the line, I believe, is Alex Chandler. No, it is Emmett Eddles pulling away with the lead of this race. Great start to hold on. No, it is in fact Alex Chandler, and looks like you've got the machine of someone in second, and further on back you've got third, fourth, and fifth. Lots of positions gained. It looks like Eddles and Arbeso were two of those drivers that were collected to start, along with Styles and Barsh. So lots of the big names for Junior Max taken out early on in this race, but they still, I mean, they're still in this race, just a little bit further on back than they want to be at the end of lap 1. But at the moment, Alex Chandler pulling a gap on all these drivers, 1.5 seconds ahead. Right now, looks like we got someone having transponder issues in second position. However, Chemo and Yomi Vargas are in third and fourth. And lots of action still on back. You got a lot of tight packed groups all the way from second down to seventh. But Alex Chandler, we talked about him before, very good driver, and he's going to keep that record up, pulling away another couple of tenths on that other group. 0.5 of a second improved, and that is now 2-second gap to second. It is Cruz Rodriguez in second position. We had a couple transponder issues before, but now we know who.
Anderson, yes, Anderson Mueller is in cart number 242. I've got to say, Adam, that I was outside there, and when the incident happened down at approaching turn number 3, there was a huge, exclamation mark, whoa, from the watching the throng of people watching on the dummy grid area. But Alex Chandler, like you said, now. One thing I was looking at, that's the Carter database. Now, that's individual sessions, isn't it? So Nico Arbezo and Alex Chandler have raced against each other in 107 at the start of today, different sessions. That is qualifying, heats, pre-finals, and finals. Nico Arbezo has come out on top more often than not. However, he's not looking like he's going to come out on top, because it was Arbezo that was the main victim. He's back in 8th position now. Even Garcia has retired. Even Garcia retiring from the race in his Formula K kart. But up at the front now, Chandler, it's all calmed down. One incident can really spread the field apart, correct?
Correct. And right now you've got a pretty big mix, but I'd say further on down, you got second and third kind of in their group, but there's still a pretty significant gap, a couple kart lengths between everybody. We're already at the halfway point in this race. Time flies when you're flying off the track.
Yeah,
and,
quite literally.
Right now, lots of people still trying to recover their race. Looks like Orbeso, Styles, Eddles, Barsh, all those, fast drivers that were collected at the start, trying to work together, fight each other, at least have some of their racing, a little bit of fun still with what time we have left in this race. But Cruz Rodriguez and Chemo Ahmed are going to be battling, going through 8 and 9 right now. And,
so
not exactly sure.
Interesting story about Cruz Rodriguez. His great grandmother, Bonnie Martin, she was the first American female stock car driver to ever race in Japan. In the 1950s, she raced in NASCAR, or the equivalent thereof, in the California region, and then went to race out in Japan. A very, very celebrated driver. And she was always 24 or 42, which is why Cruz Rodriguez has that number in memory of his late great-grandmother, who was a trailblazer in our sport. Now, big movers, of course. There was lots of big movers when the drivers starting second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth decided to, how should we say this? have a bit of a territorial dispute. I think would be the
I think a good way to put it is there's everyone's entitled to their own personal space, but some people like each other's personal space, and that's how you get those kind of wrecks into on the first lap, especially. You know, usually want to play a little bit smart, but you can always take a risk. But whenever you take a risk, eventually, after doing it enough times, it's not going to go the way you want it to, and that's what happened with those guys. But Nicholas Castro already up 5 positions in this race, the same as Sofia Sandegova. So both drivers that have gained uh, quite a lot from everyone else's mistakes so far. But right now you have a bit of a tight pack further on back. It looks like that is fifth down on to eighth or maybe ninth position as they're switching back and forth, but second and third as well. Cruz and Chemo. Looks like Cruz just is holding the defensive line enough to not let Chemo and the 211 get ahead. So it looks like there's been a potential move, but just not sure where that move is going to come from in this race.
oh well, 30 seconds plus 2 laps to go. The best battle, well, the only real battle, Alex Chandler. Alex Chandler first came to my attention here in February when it was about 850 degrees colder than it is now, give or take a degree or two. Only a degree, where he and the Iron Rock Motorsports team absolutely went away and did far, far better against some incredible competition. He then started fourth on the grid for the US Nationals on a chassis that's got more welds in it than the fencing that lines this circuit. But it still is quick, and he is proving it time and time again. Now Rodriguez under pressure from Kimo Ahmad. Kimo Ahmad, he has the Egyptian hieroglyphics on his crash helmet, designed his helmet himself to reflect his American and Egyptian ancestry. Very, very thoughtful young man. The gold livery machine crash helmet of Kimo Ahmad on the Kart Republic chassis, hustling through turn number 9, down towards 10, hard on the brakes, into the boot. They come out of 10, which is the boot is turn 11, through the turn 12 kink. Fourth position, Yomarangelis Vargas for GR2 Motorsport. Yomarangelis, the Puerto Rican driver. No, that's the 203. The 207 is Vangelis. Adrian Vargas, the Puerto Rican driver. In fact, they're probably both Puerto Rican. They've got the Puerto Rican sun on the front of their carts as a reminder of their Puerto Rican heritage. The field, very, very spread out indeed. Anderson and Nolan Mueller battling over 12th position. Emmett Eddles is 11th. Tanner Barsh 10th. Castro 9th. Sofia Sadegova is 8th. Adrian Vargas 7th. Orbezo is up to 6th. Styles is 5th. Then it is Yomarangelis Vargas in 4th. Kimo Ahmad still racing in 3rd position, but the checkered flag goes out for Alex Chandler. Chandler takes the win. Rodriguez 2nd, Ahmad 3rd, and Yomarangelis Vargas does hold off Clayton Styles, Nico Robezo, Adrian Vargas, and Sofia Sadegova is your top 8. Then Tanner Barsh, Nicholas Castro, Emmett Eddles, Nolan and Anderson Mueller. Ivan Garcia, the only driver who failed to finish. As we watch the junior drivers. Now, despite all that, the junior drivers, and on the last corner, Anderson Mueller passes his brother Nolan for 12th position. Have a break. Happy? If I'm being a bit. What? Yeah. Hot. Oh, there you go. What was it? Process will carry on. Don't feel it's involved that you can say it. Micromax on track for their rolling lap. Only 5 drivers, but 3 of the top 4 in the championship are in this race. It's going to be Hayden Sampson, Sebastian Kim, Baron Chen, JJ DeShong, and Enzo Vizcaino. They are your 5 starters. This will be a 7 minutes plus 2 lap race. So, up the straight. Sampson, the Slipstream Racing driver, on pole position. Then, the MSL CRG of Sebastian Kim, the Mint Motorsport machine of Baron Chen. JJ DeShong, who I believe is an MSL driver with the all-black graphics kit. So his mum always knows where he is on the circuit. And Enzo Vizcaino. Into the tram lines. The bright blue crash helmet of Hayden Sampson has the field at his beck and call. It's actually the bright blue crash helmet of Sebastian Kim who takes the race lead away from Hayden Sampson, who crosses the line only 3rd. So Kim and JJ DeShong side by side down the back straight. Into Switchback City now, the CRG, number 20. Sebastian Kim leads his teammate, the all-black, number 77 of JJ DeShong, as they head into the boot. Hayden Sampson in the number 91 TV kart is 3rd. Oh, and Kim having to defend. DeShong trying to go around the outside in turn number 14. That's not going to work. Out of the final corner. It's a complete lap number 1. Here comes Hayden Sampson. Great move from Sampson to take 2nd going into turn number 1. That's a very, very fast corner indeed to make a move like that. But Sampson, with a head of steam up, makes it happen. Into turn number 6. There's JJ DeShong fighting back. Retakes 2nd place. All 5 drivers still nose to tail, with Chen and Vizcaino sitting behind them in 3rd, in 4th and 5th. Through turn 10 into turn number 11. There's the boot. Out of the boot, up towards the kink at 12. Now they flash left into 13. Hard on the anchors for the tight corner right in front of the scale line of the tech building of the dummy grid. At turn 14, they flash right across the front of the dummy grid and through the final corner out onto another lap. Already they are down towards the far end of the circuit, out of my view momentarily. Up the back straight. The slipstream in full effect. Not just the slipstream, the slipstream team that run Hayden Sampson, but the general aerodynamic slipstream. Sampson repasses De Jong for P2. Him, that turquoise blue crash helmet, driver number 20, comes out of the boot through the turn 12 kink, up the straight, into turn 13. Sampson, the black crash helmet, bright green TB Kart graphics kit on his Slipstream Racing entry. Then the all black machine of JJ De Jong. Baron Chen holding on in fourth position, and now, only now, the CRG of Enzo Vizcaino begins to lose touch ever so slightly, but only by about 10 kart lengths. They come around turn number 6 into Switchback City, and Kim now extends his advantage to 10 kart lengths. Through turn 10, down to the boot at 11, out of 12. And Hayden Sampson just getting a little reminder from the flagman not to weave so vociferously whilst defending his position. And I'm sure that is taken on board. On the back straight, all 5 drivers still within 2 seconds. Running lap number 5. 2.5 minutes plus 2 race laps to go. JJ De Jong closing back in on Hayden Sampson through turns 9, 8, 9, now through 10, the little right-left kink. It's a flat-out right-left kink. It's only one corner before they set themselves up for the boot, then out of the boot. When Alan Rudolph designed this circuit, he said there are only 5 real types of different corners in karting, and he wants to include every single one on this track. The result is an excellent facility that races just as well as it looks. Get this circuit right, you can master most types of track in the United States and beyond. One minute plus 2 laps to go. No change on circuit. The only thing that has changed is that Baron Chen in 4th position has now started to lose touch a little bit again with the top 3. Kim, Sampson and De Jong. 0.7 of a second separate them. Down the back straight. Through Switchback City. Now Hayden Sampson gets on to the rear bumper of Sebastian Kim as they come out of turn number 9. Through turn 10, hard on the brakes. Now Sebastian Kim's going to have to consider defending. We've got 30 seconds to go. Will they get back before the clock strikes 0? Sampson looks to the outside at turn 13. Kim defends. Kim defends again into turn number 14. Out of turn number 14. Through the final corner. Side by side. Sampson on the outside. tries to make it side by side through turns 1, 2, and 3. It's just not possible through the fast flip-flop section. Up the back straight we go. Here comes Hayden Sampson. Kim holding on to the racing line. Sampson moves out of the slipstream, looks to the inside. Kim holds him off. This is going to leave Kim susceptible through Switchback City. Sampson tries the undercut coming through turn number 8. And through turn number 9, side by side. Oh, they touch. They touch rear wheel to rear wheel contact. They bounce through the air. And somehow both drivers save it. They continue without losing any ground. JJ DeShong and Barrett Chen watching this unfurl. And Sampson behind Kim. Kim checks over his shoulder again. Here comes Hayden Sampson. 2 laps to go. They flick left and right and left again through the flip-flops down towards turn number 4. Sampson looking for a move into turn number 4. He doesn't make it stick as they head at the back straight. Now Kim hugging the inside line. Sampson takes the wider line. Will he break earlier going into turn number 6 to try and get the cut back through switchback? No is the answer. He can do neither. Still, Kim has the advantage. Checks over his shoulder. Sampson gets a good run through turn 10. Hard on the anchors for the boot. This is bringing DeShong and Chen even closer. Now Sebastian Kim defends at the inside line into turn number 13. He still defends around turn 14 in front of the dummy grid. One more time. Final corner. White flag in the air. Kim leads. Sampson trying to go round the outside at turn number 1. Has to back out of it. That could have been a huge, huge issue if they had got that one wrong. But Sampson stays in second. Kim defends the inside line once again down the back straight. Chen and DeShong are now right behind the top 2. It's a 4-cart train through Switchback City. And Sebastian Kim doesn't defend into turn number 8. And that's cost him the race lead. Sampson pounces through turn 8. All that hard work that Sebastian Kim did over the first 9.5 laps could come to nothing. He's got 2 corners to try and work something out as Sampson defends around turn 14. It's going to be a drag race to the line, but it's the TV cart of Hayden Sampson who takes the race victory, snatching it away from Sebastian Kim, although I have to say that Kim left the door wide open and Hayden Sampson just couldn't resist making his presence known at the party. He is your heat winner in Micromax. Now, I am rapidly becoming more au fait with Texas weather, the Texas barbecue. I think this is my 4th time in Texas. But I have a question for the viewers or the listeners on the live stream. Big Red, the soft drink, not Xander Clements. Big Red. I've tried Big Red, and I think I spoke to somebody. They said, no, I'm a fan of Iron Brew. Iron Brew is a Scottish fizzy drink that is a mix of sort of herbs, not herbs, spices. You can't really describe it. It's got lots of different spices in it, but it's very sweet. That stands to reason. Big Red is, how would you describe the flavour of Big Red, ladies and gentlemen? I've also known, pardon? Big Red. What about Big Blue, which is also something I saw at a gas station yesterday? But it was 7 o'clock in the morning, and I thought not even my calorific intake can handle the amount of E numbers that must be contained in a drink called Big Blue that is about as turquoise blue as the Texas Karting League t-shirts that you see the drivers and some of the officials wearing around the facility. We're on track with Club Max and Max Masters. We've got 3 drivers out in each category. The Barr brothers and former First Sergeant US Army Lightning Linwood Mosley. Linwood Mosley in the number 996 cart is third behind the Barr brothers in Max Masters. Here come the Club Max drivers. 3 of them, Josh Norman, Daniel Howie, and Griffin Pugh. They get going. I'd be very interested. So Lightning Linwood didn't go out in qualifying. He was too busy fixing his son Alex Mosley's kart, which broke during Minimax qualifying. So this is the first time we're seeing Lightning on the circuit. As further back in the Club Max standings, that is Josh Norman, who is leading the Club Max grid, with Daniel Howie and Griffin Pugh second and third. I am going to say pew pew at least once. At least once. You've got to give me some... Gotta let me do that, ladies and gentlemen. But Griffin Pugh is 6th at the moment, 3rd in class. They did split the grids, so our 3 Masters drivers currently being led by Adam Barr, I believe. Now, is that the watermelon crash helmet? Davis Barr is the watermelon man. Davis Barr ahead of his brother Adam, and then Lightning Linwood in 3rd. Josh Norman continues to lead Mr. Howie and Mr. Pugh in Club Max, but it is the number 925 kart. It is Davis Barr. Only about a quarter of a second in front of his brother Adam as they head down the back straight. Lightning Linwood is 2.3 seconds back in 3rd position. And the battle is heating up in Club Max. Josh Norman, only the kart zone entered driver, only a kart length in front of Daniel Howie, who is the High Five Performance entered driver. Griffin Pugh from Crone Motorsport is 3rd in class, and they're all nicely packed together. And now the number 925 of Davis Barr starts edging away from his brother Adam. Linwood Mosley runs in 3rd, and he is 2.7 seconds now behind the race leaders. The Club Max grid, Josh Norman, Daniel Howie, and Griffin Pugh still very closely matched together. In fact, half a second covers those 3 drivers. The rest of the circuit now begins to fall under some increasingly lengthening shadows. For the first time all day here in New Caney, Texas, the temperature falls to a freezing 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And the battle really heating up. Oh no, Lightning Linwood has not retired. He was out of my view. He's dropped back. I wonder if all is not well with the Linwood Moseley cart. Oh. Now we've got a change in Club Max. Daniel Howie moves ahead of Josh Norman. Griffin Pugh runs in third. Norman runs off track very slightly. Left rear wheel kicks up a nice plume of dust as he continues his pursuit of race leader Daniel Howie in Club Max. Davis Barr, meanwhile, extends his advantage over Adam Barr to half a second. "90 seconds plus 1 lap to go. No change in either class on track. The two Barr brothers, Davis Barr and Adam Barr, they are separated by half a second. However, last time, well, the fastest lap of the race so far has gone to Adam Barr at 55.61. We have lost Linwood Moseley from the race. Lightning Linwood, well, Lightning can't struck twice, but he hasn't finished the session so far today. We're down to 2 runners in Max Masters. There was a Max Masters race earlier this year at Motorsports Country Club Cincinnati. We had 3 starters and only 1 finisher. Mike Rollison, the victor on that occasion. Now the battle in Club Max is still very tight. Daniel Howie for the High Five Performance team continues to lead. Josh Norman, Griffin Pugh, Macrone Motorsports runs third. Out of the final corner to complete another lap. 10 seconds plus 2 laps to go. For Davis and Adam Barr. All credit to Adam Barr. He has not given up the pursuit of his brother, Davis. Davis with the watermelon crash helmet. Adam with not a watermelon crash helmet. I mean, it's a crash helmet painted like a watermelon. Let's not make any mistake. He's not driving around with half a watermelon on his noggin. That would not pass FIA homologation. It might keep his head a bit cooler, a bit stickier. The wasps would love him, but it's just got a nice watermelon crash helmet paint scheme for Davis Barr. Here are the drivers in Club Max. Senior drivers, junior engines. Howie and Norman with Pugh just behind them. Josh Norman has not been able to get back on terms with Daniel Howie, even though he is only about a kart length behind the best of times. He just hasn't been able to make a move. Across the line with a white flag in the air. Davis and Adam Barr start their final lap. Davis leading Adam now by 1.2 seconds. They will cross the line first. But the best battle is the Club Max drivers. All 3 of them, Howie, Norman and Pugh, nose to tail through the sweepers at 1, 2 and 3. Down towards turn number 4 and out up the back straight. Into turn number 6. through Switchback City. Davis Barr will take the checkered flag. Adam Barr will finish second, but that's Max Masters. I'm looking at the Club Max drivers. Out of turn number 9, through the kink at 10. Josh Norman breaks very deep into the boot, but can't get alongside Daniel Howie, who will bring the 3-car field into the final corner. Norman has a look to the inside. Howie covers it off. Checkered flag. And it's going to be Daniel Howie who takes the victory in Club Max. And that, ladies and gentlemen, means we have just one race to go. One race. And that will be for the FZ125 shifters. One race to go, ladies and gentlemen. It is the FZ125 Senior Heat Race. 3 drivers, all driving the TB kart machines. And this class developed by the factory kart team, Billy Musgrave. New father, Billy Musgrave. Congratulations to Billy on the recent birth of his twin sons. Well, the All-American Badass, his creation was to make a gearbox class, a 6-speed shifter class, a little bit more user-friendly, while still giving the same bang for your buck in terms of power and speed. And it's going to be a standing start. Brandon Green will start from pole position. I mean, this isn't going out around the paddock. This isn't going out around the paddock. Now, there will be a podium for the Kid Kart Championship on the rental kart stage here at the circuit. And there's been a false start. So when this race finishes, there will be a Kid Kart podium on the rental kart stage. I will make my way over to do that. A false start because our pole sitter, Brandon Green, not only failed to get away, but I'm not sure that kart is entirely healthy. The flag marshal, the flag marshal goes for a tumble. as he tries to get our pole sitter away. I do hope that our Flag Marshal Theo is okay. He is okay, and he's now got Cade running towards him to have a laugh at him. Quite rightly so. Always remember, ladies and gentlemen, in life, knock a man when he's down. Don't, but he's okay. Brandon Green has had a problem getting these karts off the line. He's had one opportunity. Taylor Roddy in the number 88 kart and the 41 of Stephen Hester. They will start second and third. Brandon Green now comes back into his pole position grid slot. For the second time, the starter puts the lights on, lights are out, and this time everyone does get away cleanly. Brandon Green converts pole position into an early race lead. Another 7 minutes plus 2-lap race to go. And it's going to be, it looks like a battle for second is possibly the best thing we can hope for, as he says that second place driver, oh dear, that is Taylor, no, that is Stephen Hester, absolutely stacks it at the end of the main straight. He doesn't hit anything, but he is out of the race. No, he's pushing the kart back in on the track. Now he needs the marshal to give him a bit of a bump start. Marshal says, sir, I've been out here for 8 hours. It's 1,000,000 degrees and you want me to push? Okay, I'll push your go-kart. And that is why the marshals are the most important people in all of racing. Not only do they make sure that you stay safe on the circuit, they also are there to help a driver out, even though that marshal earlier in the day had a medic taken out to him because he didn't have enough water and the medic needed to give him an IV drip. And yet, that was at about 10 o'clock this morning. It's now 6 p.m. this evening. The marshal in question has had a 1-hour break in between them. He has been on post since. And if you can imagine, you stand out in 100-degree heat all day, just water, no protection, a tiny little gazebo offering you very little respite, humidity well over 50%. And then in the last race of the day, the driver spins the kart, stalls it. It's down to you to run down the circuit and then push a driver and the go-kart until the engine fires and off they go. That is remarkable from that young marshal over there. Meanwhile, and you know something? That marshal got Stephen Hester back in the race without Stephen losing a lap. Well done, that marshal. Someone get him a sugar cone. Man needs it. Up the main straight, race leader Brandon Green leads Taylor Roddy by 2 seconds. They're actually coming up to lap Stephen Hester. So we will need the blue flag for Hester, who is in that number 941 kart, or the number 41 kart. He is a lap down. Green closing in. The flag marshals, they're probably nursing the cut on his knee that he has developed after falling over on the track, trying to push start Brandon Green. Brandon Green, who goes past Stephen Hester, quite rightly. Brandon Green is the result of the large bloody mess that is on your kneecap at the moment, Mr. Starter. So Yeah, let Brandon figure his own way out around the slower cart of Stephen Hester. Here we go into turn number 6. This is lap number 5. You can tell there's not a lot going on in the race, ladies and gentlemen, where the commentator spends the first 3 laps of the race talking about a marshal, just a marshal, and how many people have fallen over on track today. Taylor Roddy is falling back a bit further all the time behind Brandon Green. Hester is still driving. He's still out there. He's being lapped by the 2 of them. So we're running 1, 2, 3 on circuit. That's the order of the carts. Hester, the 3rd of those carts, is actually a full lap down, but he has been successfully negotiated by both Green and Roddy. I think what happened on the first lap is Stephen Hester got a bit of a nosebleed, not used to the altitude of P2. And it got to him, like a few other people that he's got, they felt a bit funny, decided to drive onto the grass and then do a couple of 360s, a pirouette, tried to get back on the track, realized that a slightly uphill, very dusty grass surface does not, for great traction, make. Then decided to get out and just like push his car back on the track. Then realized, yes, these FZ125 carts, they require a push start. It was only poor Marshall, who is now having a sit down. He's having a lie down by the looks of it, in his Marshall post. No, he's up. The Marshall is up. He is still walking. That Marshall then, I would say that was a good 80 meters between Stephen Heston's cart and the Marshall post. So he had to run 80 meters, pick the cart up, push the cart, which weighs probably about 350 pounds, cart and driver. What is the weight limit for FC125? It's around the 300 pound mark, or as I like to call it, breakfast. And then once he's pushed the cart and Mr. Hester back into the race, he's got to sprint another 80 meters back to his Marshall post. And Ali is going to tell me that the weight is FC125 Senior, 390 pounds. Well, that's even more impressive. Well done, that Marshall. It looks like the kid kart presentation has taken place, because I'm looking at a bunch of kid kart drivers walking back with some trophies in their hands. Excellent work. No change, unsurprisingly. The only thing that has changed is the gaps between each drivers. They are widening. Green, 2.8 seconds in front of Taylor Roddy. Green's best lap, a 53.17. Roddy's best lap, a 53.37. Stephen Hester's best lap, 56.7. This is a new class. It is being developed this year. Drivers, teams, getting used to it. But what it does tell me, and I will say this in the nicest part, I love KZ2 racing, or Pro Shifter, as it is called here in the United States. However, it is a very expensive class to buy the equipment for. The running costs are not as severe as you might think. However, it is expensive to get into it. I do not believe that these 3 drivers would be able to experience the power, the shifting ability, the top speed of a 6-speed gearbox kart if this class, FZ125, did not exist. And for that reason alone, yes, this race will not live long in the memory apart from the starter falling over, Stephen Hester spinning, and a Marshall's heroics. However, what it does do is show that this class is bringing gearbox 6-speed shifter racing to the grassroots level of karting. And I think it's an absolutely fantastic achievement. Yes, there will be those who don't or can't get to grips with, the level of technicality that is involved in a gearbox kart. So it's not for everyone. However, it's not rocket science. Billy Musgrave and the factory kart team did not design this engine to be rocket science. They designed it with ease of use and overall accessibility for drivers, both junior and senior, along a range of budgets. And for that, they have succeeded. It is magnificent. Brandon Green has taken the last race win of the day here at the Texas Karting League. He wins by 3.4 seconds over Taylor Roddy. Stephen Hester finishes one lap down in third, but after giving us the best entertainment of the race. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes today's broadcast. Now, I hope you've enjoyed the audio-only broadcast today. I am very, very lucky. I work all over the world. I work with every single major company, every major championship. It's not a flex, it's a fact. I am very lucky indeed. But the effort put forward by Texas Karting League, the organizers, the technical team, the timing team, the scales team, and the various social media and people like Adam up here in the box who's helped me commentate has been nothing short of extraordinary to bring you audio coverage of the Texas Karting League. For those of you that think live streaming karting is easy, why don't you simply volunteer to help the next event to make a live stream possible? And then, and only then, will you see the amount of work and finance that has to go in to making a live stream possible. So I hope you've enjoyed today's audio-only broadcast, because tomorrow we may have cameras, we may not. But if we don't, it will be audio only, and you can listen to old school motor racing radio here at Speed Sports Park, Houston's high-speed playground. This has been day one of round 4 of the 2026 Texas Karting League. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow morning, just before 9 a.m. local time. Thank you very much. Sorry, what happened? I diving karting parents.